of '01?
August.
Okay. So that means that your birthday hasn't passed yet.
No, it's coming up.
Okay. You're right. Your math is right. It's been a long day.
Yeah,
You'd
no
be
worries.
turning 25 this year. That is possible.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take
Yeah.
it away. Tell us why you support Trump, man.
We are Charlie Kirk.
You gotta give me more than that.
Nah, that's all I got. My bad. I wasn't expecting to be here that long.
Get out of here. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Please and thank you. Only hop inside of the queue if you're here for a debate, folks. I'd really appreciate it if you could only join the queue if you're here for a debate. I am really trying my hardest to find the next guest, guys. When we do find Trump supporters, they hang out with us for like literally 10 seconds, and then they run away. And there's not too many Trump supporters left, and that's a pretty dangerous combination, and it just makes the whole stream filled with trolls. Carrie, do you support Trump?
We are team with her.
Banned. You are banned. I'll hit the high note one day. Paul, do you support Trump?
Not really.
Okay, it's banned. Moving on to the next guest, guys. Only hop inside of the queue. We got Bob loading up. Oh my goodness gracious. Only hop into, like, I hate repeating myself. Like, seriously. It's kind of getting annoying. Like, let me just have, like, one debate, bro. Griffin, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. Who says, call my dad and debate him. He want to get TikTok for this if I ask. And then Griffin actually gives me his dad's number to call. I'm not going to do that. But that would be funny. But that would be really funny. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up in the box. Another Ethan, thank you so much for the $15 as well. I appreciate you so much, man. Ethan with the 15 says, I love the Spotify podcast and listen all day at my work. 11-hour shifts, and I've listened to them all. Please get more up. I should have to do that, man. Ethan, you should check out the YouTube channel. We throw down the same cut down debates on there, but at significantly higher frequencies. It's definitely worth checking out, man. Thank you for the $15 and love to hear it that you like that Spotify. That's awesome. Thank you, brother. Show some love to Ethan. Welcome into Sports Trump, Landon.
Yes, sir.
Gina, good to see you today. Thank you for that Future City. I appreciate you. How old are you, Landon?
I just turned 18.
What month and what year were you born in?
May. I was born May 23rd. It was just recently my birthday on graduation day, actually, 2008.
So what year were you born in? Okay, sounds good. All right, that's fine. Go ahead. Tell us why you support Dozy Don, the worst president of your life. What a mistake.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said, tell us why you support Dozy Don, the worst president of your life. What an embarrassing mistake it is to support him.
Well, can you ask like a more specified question? Like on a specific topic.
What are the reasons that you have to support him as president? I kind of let you dictate the direction of the debate. I just want to know why you are MAGA.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Nope.
So then why did you request to join?
Don't know.
You don't know why you requested to join?
Nope.
Yeah, these debates are going really bad today, guys. I promise I'm trying my best. I promise to you guys I'm trying my best. We've been able to get 2 Trump supporters up in here in like the last 20 minutes, but both of them have lasted 10 seconds. That guy and then that one girl a while back. Do you support Trump?
Oh, yeah.
How old are you?
18.
What year were you born in?
May 29th, 2008.
Is that not exactly what the last guest said?
No. He said like 23rd or some shit.
Okay. Well, I'll tentatively believe you. So why do you support Trump?
Support his mass deportations. I support his push for ban birthright citizenship. Or getting that amendment out of here.
Okay, so yeah, you support him playing wannabe dictator because he is not
Playing
trying.
wannabe dictator. Okay. How? For one to get rid of an amendment? Why wouldn't he just say, the hell with the amendment? I'm a
Yeah.
dictator. I can do whatever the hell
So it
I
doesn't
want.
really seem like you know what you're talking about. Donald Trump is not trying to get rid of the 14th Amendment. He's just simply saying that because he doesn't think the 14th Amendment gives birthright citizenship to the children born to undocumented immigrants on American soil, that therefore it doesn't. And that's why he signed Executive Order number 14160 into effect, ordering the DHS to ignore the truth behind the 14th Amendment and to start arresting citizens for deportation.
Can I get a quote?
Executive Order number 14160. The directive of Executive Order number 14160 is to affirm that it's not true that the 14th Amendment, once again, extends birthright citizenship to the children born to undocumented immigrants. And then the actionable order, an enforcement mechanism of this executive order, is for the DHS to start identifying people that were born to undocumented immigrant parents on American soil and classify them as undocumented immigrants themselves. To be eligible for deportation.
That's correct, though. The 14th Amendment doesn't protect that. It never stated that. It just says it was used to get rid of the sin of slavery.
Yeah, so that's obviously you're not really too educated on the nature of the 14th Amendment. That's fine. So do you?
Why was that? Why was the 14th Amendment amended?
There were a lot of reasons. Are you asking for the main reason, or are you asking for
the main reason?
The number one reason of the 14th Amendment was to provide birthright citizenship to the children born to slaves or slaves of themselves,
yes,
because of the Dred Scott decision. But that was
I
not the only reason from the framers of the 14th.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I want any
we
proof.
also saw.
Dean, give me.
So I'm in the
proof.
middle of it.
Okay.
I'm in the middle of trying to give you evidence. I'm in the middle of trying to give you an argument, but it just doesn't sound like you want me. So that wasn't the only reason why they passed the 14th Amendment. My question to you would actually be, let's see how educated you are. Do you know what year the 14th was ratified?
I think 6 years after the Civil War.
Which was?
I think... no, I don't. I know it was some years after the Civil War.
1848. The 14th Amendment was ratified in 1848, okay? And once again, the birthright citizenship clause of the 14th was primarily intended for slaves, but they also had debate on the floor of Congress during the 3 years that they were deliberating the amendment, 1845 to 1848, specifically about if it would apply to immigrants, and they agreed that it would. And we also saw this decision reaffirmed by the Supreme Court during the lifetimes of the framers in the U.S. versus, not 1848, my apologies, 1868. I was off by 20 years. Once again, kind of tired today. And we also saw this reaffirmed in the lifetime of the framers.
You said, wait. Oh, you just correct yourself. You were saying that you were wrong about when it was, okay.
So I said 1848, I meant to say 1868.
You knew when Civil War was, bro?
Well, I would love to continue speaking about the nature of the 14th Amendment, and it ended in the 60s. I know that much.
Do you know when it ended?
I think it ended in 65, 64.
Correct. Okay. No, 65.
Thank
Damn,
you.
bro.
Okay. Do you want me to finish giving you the argument?
No, I want the proof of them. Like, it's fine. You can give me scripts of debates that they actually kept in mind of immigrants.
Well, I'm just going to mute you, so I'm going to finish the argument. Thank you. I really appreciate that, man. If you want to read the script of the congressional debate on the floor of the House and the Senate from 1865 at the end of the Civil War to 1868 with the ratification of the 14th, you can find that on congress.gov. But what I would also primarily drive you to look at would be the U.S. versus Wonkamark SCOTUS court case that was held in 1998. And this deliberated the nature of the 14th Amendment and who it applies to. So first and foremost, they adjudicated that the only people who birthright citizenship does not apply to would be three groups of people: Native Americans, members of foreign militant invading forces from other country, and foreign diplomats. And they ruled that everybody else is subject to the birthright citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment. Now, we of course later saw federal law update that for Native Americans. And after that, we also saw it reaffirmed in the Plyer v. Doe court case of the 90s, 60s, 70s, 1960s, 70s, 80s, I forget which one, that undocumented immigrants do have protections under the 14th Amendment because they are within the jurisdiction of the United States of America. And then we saw Chief Justice Gray from the U.S. versus Wonkamark case say that being subject to the subject of the jurisdiction of America is no more or less comprehensive than being within the subject to the jurisdiction of the United States of America, which is the contested part of the 14th Amendment.
People's interpretation. God, dude, it's been a long day for me too. When when they interpret things, it can be wrong. Okay.
No. So it can't be wrong insofar as what the law is from SCOTUS. Because SCOTUS has given themselves the ability to have like the final verdict and the final say insofar as what is truly reflective of the law that exists. So when SCOTUS rules that undocumented immigrants have protections under the 14th Amendment, then it is a legal fact that as it stands, undocumented immigrants have protections under the 14th Amendment, meaning that you are incorrect to argue that the 14th Amendment does not protect birthright citizenship for undocumented immigrants.
Well, no, I believe SCOTUS can be wrong, and I believe that it needs to be another court case. Do you believe it's individual right to own handguns?
Oh my goodness, dude. Do you agree that SCOTUS is the law of the land and ultimately has the final verdict in saying the nature of the Constitution?
They only have it for that case, correct, until another court case opens.
So as it stands, undocumented immigrants do have protections under the 14th Amendment?
I want a court case, correct.
So yes or no, as it stands, do undocumented immigrants have protections under the 14th Amendment?
Under right now, yes.
So as it stands, Donald Trump was infringing on the Constitution with executive number 14160?
Yeah, I didn't say that I support that.
Okay.
I support its push.
Right.
Though.
Right, but his push is it was representative of that of a tyrannical dictator, because it's literally Donald Trump saying that I disagree with the Constitution. So I'm just going to act like the Constitution says whatever I want it to say. So when I sign executive orders into effect on parts of the Constitution that are not vague or unclear because they've been explicitly ruled on by SCOTUS 2 times now, I'm just going to rewrite it and reinterpret it as I see fit. Okay, I'm going to infringe on the power vested in the executive branch of government, and then all of a sudden I'm going to tell the DHS to reclassify citizens as undocumented immigrants to be deported. That's a big problem, dude.
I agree with his push. That the way that he's going about it, yeah, I agree that it is a little tyrannical, but I believe in his push to do so. Well, once again,
okay, so you agree with tyranny?
Do I agree with tyranny? I just said I don't agree. You explicitly just said
that you agree with a push, but you agree the way that he's pushing is tyrannical. Therefore, you agree with tyranny.
I just said I don't agree with tyranny.
No, you just said that you do agree with tyranny because you explicitly said that you agree with his push.
Not him pushing in that way. I support.
Okay, so then you don't agree with
in
his
ways
push.
that are not tyrannical.
Okay, so because the way in which he's pushing is tyrannical, then you don't agree with his push.
Well, no, because it's going to get shut down by all kind of courts, and they're having a court case about it right now as we speak, that we are still waiting to hear about. So right. No, his ways that he's going about it is he hasn't committed any kind of treason in any kind of way.
Okay. Well, I mean, well, what I'm arguing is that his push is tyrannical because it infringed on the Constitution. I don't think it's okay for a president to intentionally and belligerently infringe on the Constitution just because they don't like the Constitution. That's pretty anti-American.
I can say the same thing about 1993 Clinton with the ban of rifles. So, I mean, I don't... We can...
When did SCOTUS rule that was unconstitutional?
When did SCOTUS run... not that, no.
Okay. So remember when SCOTUS ruled that undocumented immigrants do have protections under the 14th Amendment? U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark and then Plyer v. Doe, 1898 and then 1971, I believe.
Correct.
Right, it's just like your subjective opinion that Clinton's assault rifle ban infringed on the Constitution. Okay, and I mean, you could have that opinion, that's fine, but it doesn't really amount to good reason to believe that Clinton was indeed tyrannical because ultimately the courts disagreed with you. But the courts seem to agree with me here that Donald Trump's push to take birthright citizenship away from citizens to deport them was unconstitutional.
It's currently...
Jade, thank you so much for the galaxy. So it's already been in SCOTUS before. I don't know why they're hearing this case. It's not going to go Trump's way.
Yes. Also was gun laws. Also was the personal right to own firearms. It was just overturned in 2008.
Right. Like, I understand that you're hoping that the Supreme Court agrees with Donald Trump, but there's just no good reason for them to agree with Donald Trump. Give me the legal argument that the 14th Amendment does not apply to undocumented immigrants. You won't be able to do it.
Because I still want your proof of when 1866, or when it was
Wait,
actually
a question isn't an
debated
argument.
on.
No. A question is not an argument. I want your argument that the 14th Amendment and the birthright citizenship clause of it does not apply to undocumented immigrants.
There is no proof whatsoever that the people that ratified that amendment was doing it so people that were immigrants could have babies in America and they could have birthright citizenship just because they were born here.
Does the First Amendment apply to social media?
Applies to Congress not making any law on the.
Can Congress make a law to abridge on the speech on social media?
No, it cannot. No.
Okay. Well, is there any proof that the framers of the First Amendment were intentionally framing the First Amendment to protect speech on social media?
That's literally not at all what I'm talking about. It
is.
Like, it's a logical fallacy, bro.
Could you describe the fallacy, please?
No, I cannot. I just heard it and it sounds
okay.
Cool.
So you're gonna accuse me of a fallacy, but then you're not going to be able to describe the fallacy.
No, you're giving me some kind of half truth. And
essentially what I'm telling you is that it seems to be the case that your argument is insufficient, because even if your argument was true and undocumented immigrants were not a consideration made by the framers, which would be like insane to like attest to, because the colonizers of North America were undocumented immigrants, so of course they're familiar with the concept. Not to mention just solely existed. Just solely was, well, when you were born on the soil of the king, then you were subject to the king. It doesn't really matter who or what you are, and that was the concept in which had been implicitly pre-assumed by the American legal system, after the divestment from Britain and prior to their Dred Scott decision. So, of course, we do have reason to believe, that their principle here would extend to really anyone, including undocumented immigrants. But once again, the reason why your argument is insufficient is because you're essentially saying that if, this thing was not explicitly considered by the framers of the amendment, then the amendment does not protect it. Okay, right? But we would extend this to the First Amendment and freedom of free speech on social media, because it was not an explicit consideration of the framers of the first. Well, now all of a sudden Congress has the ability to pass laws to infringe on speech on social media. There was no explicit consideration from the framers of the Second Amendment for ARs and assault rifles or handguns. So therefore, ARs and handguns are not protected under the Second Amendment because there's no explicit consideration by the framers. So go ahead and give me an argument that you think does follow that undocumented immigrants are not protected under the 14th Amendment. Keep in mind here that you're going to have to dispute that the text of the 14th Amendment's birthright citizenship section applies to undocumented immigrants. So specifically, could you tell me the two necessary pre-qualifiers that ought be met by a person in order to have a constitutional right to birthright citizenship in America? What are the two and only pre-qualifiers per the 14th Amendment? He's Googling it. You could just tell me you don't know.
No, I'm not Googling. I'm not. Okay. Difference between First Amendment. First Amendment protects all speech except, trying to give speech that would proclaim violence on someone. It protected all speech, no matter newspaper, whatever. It protected all speech. That was the meaning behind it. That's what it protected. Now,
the same way the birthright citizenship section of the 14th Amendment protects birthright citizenship for all people who are born here and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Okay. That's kind of the point that I'm getting at. And that's why I asked you the question, what are the two pre-qualifications that must be met in order for somebody to be a birthright citizenship? The first pre-qualification is to be born here, and then the second pre-qualification is to be subject to the jurisdiction of America.
I will give you that once you give me proof that I asked for when we started this debate, where I asked, did the people that wrote up this and did that debates that they held,
go read the congressional debate record from the floor of the House and the Senate. I'm not gonna give you the congressional debate record.
Of course you can't, because you have no proof.
The proof is in the congressional debate record. I'm giving you the source. You're not doing my work for me because I'm giving you the source. My source would be the congressional debate record of the 14th Amendment on the floor of the House.
You can't give me any proof.
The proof is what I'm communicating to you right now. The evidence that immigration was a consideration made in the ratification of the 14th was inside of the congressional debate record on the floor of the House and the Senate during the ratification of the 14th from 1865 until 1868. I will not give you quotes. The reason why I'm not going to give you quotes
it's your claim.
The reason why I'm not going to give you quotes is because it's irrelevant to the argument. If my argument that undocumented immigrants were subject to the 14th Amendment hinged on the framers of the 14th Amendment explicitly discussing immigrants during the drafting of the 14th Amendment, then I would give you quotes. Okay, but because my argument does not hinge on this thing being true, well, then I'm not going to give you quotes and waste my time doing that, but I will give you the general resource where you can find it. Okay, the general resource where you could find it would once again, for the very last time, be the congressional debate record on the floor of the House and the Senate from 1865 until 1868.
It's hilarious how you can make a claim, say that the guys that wrote this up had the idea of immigrants in their mind when they did write this up, but provide me no quotes or no mass number of members of Congress.
Yeah, that would take me around 10 minutes to go find the specific quotes.
You made
and don't worry, I would be willing to invest 10 minutes into finding the specific quotes if my argument hinged on it. But it doesn't. My argument doesn't hinge on it. So that's why I'm not going to invest 10 minutes into finding those specific quotes so we could actually further the debate.
No, you can make a claim, but you can't provide any evidence for it.
Yeah, my evidence is the congressional debate record. If you want to see that my claim is true, go read the congressional debate record.
Quotes.
Okay. And that's fine. If you want quotes as soon as the debate is over, go read the congressional debate record. And if I'm wrong, come blast me. This would also extend to anybody else on the internet tuning into the stream. But I know that I'm not wrong. So that's why I'm pretty confident in the claim. You know, go read it on your own time. Feel free to. But for the very last time,
and then make the
because my argument does not hinge on it being true that the framers of the 14th discussed immigration explicitly in the ratification of the amendment, I'm not going to take a 10-minute detour and put this whole live stream on pause to go find the explicit quotes from the debate record. The debate, I just want to clarify for everybody watching, the debate record is like 3 years long. So that's why it would be so tedious and meticulous for me to sit here on live stream and go find the explicit quotes.
Why make a claim then?
Well, you know who does have the explicit quotes? I'll tell you who
he has to get here. He has to get him in the.
I do happen to have the quotes. They come from the Congressional Globe from May 30th, 1886. And probably the most important exchange relevant to this conversation would be that between the Pennsylvania Senator Edgar Cohen.
You said 1886?
1866. I don't know what I said. If I said something else, it's 1866. Yep. Okay. The most relevant exchange to this conversation would be from Senator, what was his name? Edgar Cohen from Pennsylvania, who was very much racist senator, and he was particularly worried about gypsies selling things on the street, and they speak a weird language, and all of that. But he tried to call out Senator John Conness, who's a Irish immigrant himself, and said, "Hey, you represent California." And he said, "Is the child of the Chinese immigrant in California a citizen? Is the child of a gypsy born in Pennsylvania?" And I apologize for the language. I'm reading a quote, so please take no offense. Yeah. Born in Pennsylvania citizen? If so, what rights have they? And then Senator Conness, who represented California, who is, who basically Cohen was like, "Hey, buddy, you represent all of these Chinese people coming into California. Should they have rights?" And Senator Conness said, "The proposition before us relates simply in respect that the children of begotten Chinese parents in California, and it proposed to declare that they shall be citizens. We have declared this by law. Now it is proposed to incorporate the same provision in the fundamental instrument of the nation. I am in favor of doing so."
Yeah, there's the explicit quote. In the future, I'd recommend just, saying Romani, right, during the quote. But
I wish I would have. I was reading it and it didn't trigger my brain, so I apologize. That's what I should have done. So no offense intended to anybody. Romani would be the appropriate term.
Anyways, Jack, any response?
Yeah, well, you didn't have it, so you had to get one of your buddies up here, okay? So
I got a lawyer up here who knows the explicit quote. Pretty based.
You made the claim. You made the claim.
Right.
You specifically made the claim.
And
you had nothing
I just want to clarify that we can agree that my claim was right. And that the evidence for my claim was found in the congressional debate record on the House and the floor of the Senate from 1865 until 1868.
No, you...
Right, yeah, exactly. Yes, the reason for the very last fucking time, you intense hard ass who just lost the debate, that everybody is laughing at now, is because it would have taken me, like I said, like half an hour to go read through all the congressional debate record to find the explicit quote that Law just shared. Okay, I would have been looking through over 1,000 pages to find the 2 sentences that Law just repeated. Right, but my claim was true, and my source was accurate, and he just found the specific quote from the source to prove it's accurate, so go ahead and respond.
He provided one single piece of evidence. You said there was all kind of congressmen, all kind of senators.
Okay, so you're shifting the goalpost now. Because what you had asked me earlier was just the fact that this was a consideration made by Congress, in which we just proved it was a consideration made by Congress. But now you're saying that you want it to be more of a consideration made by Congress? Okay, listen, I'll go ahead and repeat this for the last time. I'm happy that we could dunk on you, and I'm ecstatic that Law knew the specific quote to prove you wrong, because it's nice watching you drown after you've been such an asshole. But I will repeat what I said before Law joined. Ultimately, this is relevant to the debate on if the nature of the 14th Amendment applies or doesn't apply to undocumented immigrants. You agreed that the First Amendment would apply to Congress not being able to pass laws to infringe on speech on social media, okay, not because there's any explicit quote from the framers of the First Amendment that I want this to apply to social media, because social media didn't exist at the time, but rather because the encompassing text of the First Amendment protects all speech, or I guess most speech, regardless of the medium that is being used to use that speech, right? And in the same way, when we read the nature of the text of the 14th Amendment, it protects all individuals' rights to birthright citizenship, given that they meet the 2 necessary pre-qualifications of being born here and being subject to the jurisdiction thereof. So our debate shouldn't be about, is this something that the framers of the amendment made an explicit consideration of, or else we'd be having that same debate about the First Amendment. But rather the debate should be about, well, are undocumented immigrants who are born here subject to the jurisdiction of the United States of America? Because if it's true that the undocumented immigrants who have kids here and their kids are subject to the jurisdiction of America, then it is false that Donald Trump's EO was lawful, and it is true that the 14th Amendment protects birthright citizenship for the children born to undocumented immigrants on American soil.
I mean, just a whole lot of word salad, bro.
So it's not a word salad just because you don't understand it.
No. You
when I was in my junior year of high school, I was in pre-calculus, and for the first couple months, I didn't do my homework. I was a pretty bad student. And when I'd go into class every day, I'm going to be honest, the teacher didn't make much sense. But that's because I wasn't on his level. I didn't do my homework, not because
you didn't do your homework either. You couldn't give me any quotes. You made a claim that you couldn't back up with anything. No, you had to get one of your buddies up here.
Dean knew that the quote existed, and he correctly cited where you could find it. He didn't have it on hand, and it's a very long record. I've made videos about this. I work in this area. I'm very familiar with it, so I could pull it up directly.
Let me ask you a question. Okay. How many?
By the way,
how
this
many
guy just
congressmen are we
completely
talking about?
ignored. This guy just completely ignored the whole, well, actually, this conversation about the debate record is irrelevant because nowhere in the debate record of the First Amendment can we find an explicit consideration from Congress or the framers of the First Amendment to protect freedom of speech on social media. But of course, it is protected on social media because the nature of the text of the First Amendment is to protect freedom of speech in most cases on all mediums because it meets the criteria brought forth by the First Amendment. Very similarly, the debate about the nature of the 14th Amendment shouldn't be about what was the explicit intention of the framers, but rather, well, does the text of the 14th Amendment apply to undocumented immigrants? There are two pre-qualifications: being born here and being subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And if undocumented immigrants who have children who are born here are subject to the jurisdiction thereof, then there's no debate about it. The 14th Amendment protects birthright citizenship for the children born to the undocumented immigrants on American soil. You have been stuck on repeat for the last 20 minutes because you got your ass fucking grilled and you don't know what else to say. You can't respond to the argument I just gave you. You can't respond to the explanation of how it's unduly and tedious for you to expect me to know the explicit two sentences in a collections of thousands of pages. And all that you could say is, Dean, you didn't know the explicit quote, and Dean, shut the hell up.
Didn't.
Respond to the argument. Stop repeating yourself. It's annoying.
Do you like to learn, Dean?
Well, I like to debate, and clearly I'm not getting one from you.
Do you enjoy learning?
I enjoy getting a counter argument to my position, so why don't you give one?
Okay. Well, no, you brought him up here. I would like to ask him a question so I can learn a little bit too.
Okay, so you're not going to respond to the position. Go ahead.
I will answer to your word salad in a second. Let me ask you a question.
Wait, you already made that claim. Once again, you're just repeating yourself. You already made the claim that I gave you a word salad. I gave you a description of how you're just simply not educated on the content that I'm describing to you.
You just won't shut the fuck up.
And then I even repeated the argument a second time for you. So do I need to repeat the argument a third time for you? Okay, I'll go to repeat the argument a third time for you. I'm going to make sure it's not a word salad this time. It doesn't matter if they made an explicit consideration in the debate for the drafting of the 14th Amendment for immigrants. Although it's true they did do that, it doesn't matter because the First Amendment still protects freedom of speech on social media, even though they never made an explicit consideration of freedom of speech on social media when drafting the First Amendment. Why? Because the clear text of the First Amendment, protections of speech, are not dependent on any medium. As long as it is speech, okay, within a relevant regard, then it is protected on all mediums because that's what the First Amendment says. Very similarly, it doesn't matter if they made an explicit consideration for immigrants during the ratification process of the 14th Amendment because the 14th Amendment's clear text says that if you're born here and you're subject to the jurisdiction of the United States of America, then you are a citizen. And breaking that rule in any scenario would be unconstitutional. Therefore, if it is true that undocumented immigrants are subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S., then it is also true that their children are birthright citizens. Now, do you understand the argument that I'm giving you, or are you going to repeat that it's a word salad?
I would rather, when it comes to First Amendment, because it portrays
No.
in a way.
Do you understand the argument that I'm giving you, or is it a word salad?
I understand what you're giving me.
Okay, great. Thank you for conceding. Go ahead.
I said I understand what you're giving me. No one conceded, Dean.
You conceded that it wasn't a word salad after repeating twice that it was a word salad.
What I want to know if you agree with me too. I want SCOTUS to reopen the case to make sure that racial slurs is not protected by the First Amendment. It comes with N-word, Asian slurs, Hispanic slurs. Would you agree with that? Because I do.
Well, I mean, I think that the only way we'd get there, if we were to do that, would be likely through a new amendment. Because I don't think that there's any interpretation of the First Amendment to argue that the use of racial slurs are not protected, unless they were reclassified as extreme hate speech that could cause imminent harm. But that's very unlikely. It might require a new amendment to achieve your goal. But you're still not responding to the argument here.
But you would like that, right?
If it were possible, yeah. But my argument is I don't know if it's possible.
This is my same thing with the 14th Amendment.
And what I'd say is that it's not possible for the 14th Amendment to be reconsidered in a way in which would deny birthright citizenship to the children born to undocumented immigrants, because there's no legal argument that undocumented immigrants are not subject to the jurisdiction of America.
comes with the context, though, with what my argument came with, that I do not believe the writers of that amendment, the mass of them, I know I said none of them at first, but I still don't believe the mass of them had immigrants in their mind when they put forth that.
33 voted for the amendment, that provision of the amendment. 11 voted against it.
That provision, help me out with that.
The parts we were just talking about, the birthright citizenship clause, 33 senators voted for it, 11 voted against it.
But it was about slavery.
The quote that I just gave you affirmed that they were thinking well beyond slavery. Actually, the most of the debate was talking about Native Americans. They very briefly talked about undocumented or, children of immigrants. There was no documentation there, but the children of immigrants, the vast majority of the debate was talking about whether Native Americans would be citizens. Very little of it had to do with slavery.
I wanted to ask you, Law, how many of these congressmen and how many of these senators, because you do know about this, how many of them did keep it in their mind? I don't know, quotes, debates, on the floor. I know it might take you a little while, but could you post it? Because I do want to know, because I can't find it anywhere when it comes to the number.
Damn, this guy's flailing. This guy has no fucking argument.
I mean, this is what I wanted to ask in the first place.
No, this guy legitimately has no fucking argument. This is so embarrassing for this guy. Holy shit. He just wants to take citizenship away from citizens because of his bigotry and xenophobia. He has nothing.
Here comes with racism. Yeah. Well, whoever says anything close to racism.
Well, I think that you've been making it apparent the whole time that you've been on this live stream because, the 14th Amendment doesn't protect, the children born to undocumented immigrants claim to birthright citizenship. Yeah, you don't have any argument for it. You haven't been able to track a single argument that I've given you in relation to an analogy born into the First Amendment and the lack of a legal consideration from them insofar as is speech protected explicitly on social media. And then you set a really high bar here, right? Saying that, we need to prove that they explicitly made a consideration of immigrants during the ratification process of the 14th. He did, and he also told you that 33 congressmen voted for that provision and 11 voted against it. Okay, so it seems like we've just got you deadlocked here, where you don't have an argument that the explicit text of the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to undocumented immigrants, because you can't give me an argument that undocumented immigrants are not subject to the jurisdiction of America, and you're just simply repeating what you've already said about how you don't think they made a consideration for immigrants, even though we've already informed you that they have, and we've given you evidence.
The provision that he just needs nothing to do with.
How about this? Do you agree that the two necessary pre-qualifications for having a claim to birthright citizenship per the 14th would be being born here and being subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S.?
He just said, or you just said.
I want a yes or no. Do you agree that the two necessary and only pre-qualifications to have birthright citizenship would be to be born here and be subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S.?
Right now, as the law is right now.
No, that's not as the law is right now. That's literally the text of the amendment. Have you ever read the 14th Amendment? Have you?
Yes, I read the 14th Amendment.
Okay, I don't think you have, because, you said that's the interpretation right now. No, that's just literally what it says. I'll show it to you. This is literally the 14th Amendment. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state in which they reside. Do we agree that when we just literally read the 14th Amendment, there's no interpretation, ever, that could possibly lead to any conclusion other than the two and only necessary pre-qualifications to be a birthright citizen would be to be born here and be subject to the jurisdiction thereof?
Yes.
Okay. There's no other interpretation that could exist. So, are the children born to undocumented immigrants on American soil born here?
Yes.
Are the children born to undocumented immigrants on American soil subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S. and U.S. law?
Yes.
So then, what this means, conclusion from the syllogism, there is no possible interpretation of the 14th Amendment that would exclude granting birthright citizenship to the children born to undocumented immigrants here. The only way to deny birthright citizenship to the children born to undocumented immigrants would literally be to add a new amendment to the Constitution.
Yes.
Right.
W.
Thanks for being good faith. Maybe I was a little too hard on you. Like I said,
All right.
I'm not in that good of a mood today. Kind of feeling under the weather.
Let me
All right.
Can I ask you something? This is not Trump. If you want to get into this debate, you want to get into the George Washington's a fascist debate? Because you made that. I saw that video of you.
No, we're here to talk about Trump. Appreciate
Yeah, you
you
might
for
want to take
coming
that
up.
back, bro. I'm not gonna lie. If you want to get people to win in November, you might want to take that back. I'm not gonna lie, but you do what you want.
Okay.
But
thanks
appreciate
for
you having
your
me up here.
thoughts. You have a good one.
Hey, Dean, I'm
Wow,
gonna drop
appreciate you
it.
for screwing that guy.
My pleasure. My pleasure. You're getting every time you debate the 14th, you get even better and better. So I love listening to it. 10 out of 10, no notes. Real quick, Anne, thank you for the $20 donation. I appreciate that. I will specifically make sure I use that to help undocumented people who I'm writing habeas petitions for here in Minnesota. So thank you so much for that help.
You're awesome, Law. I love hearing from you that I'm getting better at debating that. You know, it means a lot because this guy's a lawyer. Shout out to Law in that comment section. While we look for that next debate, please only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump. Over on Super Chat, thank you for the $20. Silver, who says, quote unquote, what was I in their minds, end quote, doesn't equal what they voted in favor of. You can disagree with part of something, but agree with the overall argument, causing you to vote in favor of that thing, even if one part of it you disagree with. Well, I appreciate you so much for the $20, Silver. That's very kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm happy that we got that last debate tucked away with a bow. Usually the debates about the nature of the 14th Amendment are pretty insufferable. We haven't had one for a while, though. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the live stream. Mr. Jose, thank you so much for the $60 donation on Super Chat. I really appreciate that, Jose. Let's get 600 Jose W's down below in that comment section. I'm so very grateful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please show some love to Jose down below in that chat. Jose with a $60 says, for Dean, MAGA is so dumb that even a person with half a horse sense can beat them on basic constitutional law. You are so intelligent and able to see nuance, run circles around these MAGA beta boys. Fight on, Dean. Dude, Jose, I really appreciate you. You've been hanging out with us for a long time. You've been in here nearly every day, supporting the stream too. Know that I really appreciate you. Show some love to Jose in that chat. What a mad lad. Okay, folks. There's somebody that I would actually like to invite up on the stream because this person has been spamming my comment section for like 3 streams now, 3 days in a row. Their name is Robin, and they just continue to go on about how I support killing babies and the fact, asking me why do I support killing babies. So I'm actually going to invite this Robin person to join the live stream. It's possible that they're a fetus, so if that's true, you know, just either don't accept the invite or, you know, tell me that when you do accept it. But if you're an adult, I would love to have a debate with you. Where's Robin at? Let me find her in that chat. There's a lot of people spamming that chat right now, so it's a kind of like a needle in a haystack. But I want to send her an invite to get her up here so I could have a debate with her about the nature of the morality of abortion. It looks like she's running. It doesn't look like she's going to join. Very scared. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the box right now. Here we go. Where is that next guest at? Honestly, a lot of the names in the comment section are just names that I see in the queue almost every day. Dark Moon. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you for the $100 on Super Chat. Oh my God, Dark Moon. That is so much money. I'm so very grateful for you. Genuinely. Thank you so much for the love and support. Show some love to Dark Moon in that comment section. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That is beyond kind of you. I appreciate you. Show some love to Dark Moon down below. Dark Moon with 100 says, Dean, you and Parker are why I got into debates and politics. I never fully understood it before. I'm 40 years old and you have taught me so much. Keep on finding the good work and educating MAGA. Well, I really appreciate you for the very kind words and the very kind donation, Dark Moon. I'm so happy that our live streams have gotten you politically involved. I love to hear that. Show some love to Dark Moon down below in that comment section. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is, once again, so much money. I'm so very grateful for you. Don't deserve a penny of that. Okay. I found Robin in the chat, everybody. Let's go ahead and send her an invite, see if she runs. We sent her an invite. Let's see if she runs, y'all. The invite is out. The invite is out. Is she gonna run? Because I just saw her chirping even more in that comment section. Robin was like, you didn't invite me because I couldn't find you. But now I have. Oh, it looks like she's running. It looks like she's running. All right. She's not going to join. I guess we better just move on to the next guest. You know, Robin, I'd recommend if you want to chirp down in that comment section for 3 days straight for 4 hours a day, at least have the spine to join. Better Call 77, do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you? Better Call 77.
18.
What year were you born in? Better Call 77.
2007 on November.
Okay, Better Call 77. Sounds good. I'm going to take a moment to thank a couple people that'll pass you that mic to give us an argument, okay?
It's because, oh, my bad.
Just give me a moment, brother. The mic will be yours. Omar, appreciate you for the $5 on Venmo, who says, what's your favorite type of cheese? That guest just left. I'd have to say, like, aged Gouda is really good. Aged Gouda is super good. Like, 18-month aged Gouda. Yummy, yummy, yummy. That's probably my favorite. Let's go to get the next guest connected to the box. We got Wilson loading up in here. Lois, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. Says, just wow. Appreciate you so much for that love and support, Lois. 100 Lois W's. And then 200 Jamie W's over on Venmo. This came in 9 minutes ago before we had ended the debate with the last guest. Jamie with the $20 says, ask why are they quote unquote illegal if they are not subject to the laws of the U.S. That's honestly a really good question to ask people who deny that undocumented immigrants are subject to the jurisdiction of U.S. law. But he ended up conceding. So that's a good question for people like him who won't make that concession. Really good question, honestly, Jamie. Thank you. Let's get 200 Jamie W's and 200 Kayla W's. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Says, please share this with law. It's always awesome when he mic drops on Republicans. I got you, and it certainly is. We love law out here. Thank you for the $20, Kayla. And Sean, thank you for the $40. Oh my God. Who says, getting a little bit burned out by people trying to bait you, the person and not the facts or the subject. Farming sound bites to frame you as quote unquote owned is still getting old. Still love you. Great work. I appreciate you so much for the love, Sean. I know that you've been watching for a while. Here's what I have to say. I think after watching the debates for a long time, it's very natural to start getting burnt out on them. And at that point, I just recommend, tuning into some other media. Keep it fresh. Do what's good for you. But, I really do have a lot of love and appreciation for the people who've been here for years, And I know that you've been here for a long time, man. Know that I appreciate you and thank you so much for that $40 dono. That is very, very kind of you. Leah and Supercalifragilistic, whatever the hell the end of your name is.
Yes,
I'm just going to call you Super. Is that Leah or Super?
Leah.
Okay, what about you, Super?
He's muted. Kick him.
Oh, it's Josh, but he doesn't know that he's muted.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Get out of here, Josh. All right, Leah, how old are you?
I'm 19.
What year were you born in, Leah?
2006.
Would you prefer me to call you Leah, or would you prefer that I call you something else?
Leah's fine.
Okay, Leah. Just go ahead and I just have one more person to thank on Venmo, then I'll pass the mic to you. Miss Shannon, thank you so much for the $75 donation. Oh my goodness, you guys have been so kind to me today. Thank you so much, Shannon. Show some love to Shannon down below. Shannon with the $75 says, feel better. Thank you so much, Shannon. I really appreciate you. 750 Shannon W's. I am feeling pretty down. I'm feeling pretty sick, pretty tired, but, we're going to try to push through it. We are. Thank you so much for that love and support. Over over on PayPal. SJ, thank you for the $25. Who says no message or a reason. I just have mad love and respect for you, my G. SJ, you know it. I appreciate you so much. SJ the go, as per usual. Let's get 250 SJWs. Thank you for the $25. Marianne, thank you so much for the $14. I appreciate you, Marianne. Cully with the $5. That's awesome, Cully. Good shit. Eric, thank you for the $1. You're asking me not to read that out loud, so I won't. And then Lauren, thank you for the $6. With all that being said, we're caught up. If you want to support me, you can find the Venmo and the PayPal and the link tree in the bio on TikTok. Pin message on the other place, and the at's right there. Dean Withers, without the Ian Withers. So, Leah, take it away. Tell us why you support Trump.
Why put those fingers there?
I'm sure that we'll figure out at some point in the debate.
What does that mean?
I don't know. That means Leah.
Can you stop doing that right there? I don't appreciate it very much.
Okay, fine. I'll just start calling you Phil.
What? But
Phil. Phil, why do you support Trump, Phil?
I support Trump because gas prices are going down, and
what happened to your voice?
What?
What happened to your voice, Phil? It's like you just started sucking on like a helium balloon.
Can you please call me by my name? My name's Leah, and I'm here to debate you because.
So just to clarify, your name's not Phil, right?
No, my name is not Phil. No.
Okay, so it is Phil. Thank you so much, because it's opposite day. Remember, everyone knows this. Everyone knows this.
I think gas prices are going down. I did appreciate gas prices being up because it makes people work harder, but they're going down. That's good to see for other people.
You said you like the price of gas going up because it makes people work harder?
Yes, it makes me work harder because I work more overtime, so that
don't you wish that you could have more time out of your week to not work and spend on your personal interests and hobbies?
It doesn't bother me. I like my job.
Okay, all right, that's fine, but ultimately it still is taking time away from you. Right, because all of a sudden that time is no longer optional. You need to work those additional hours to make ends meet to live a fruitful life, right? And I'd say that's a bad thing, right? I think that people should have the most time as possible, right, to live their life in accordance with their values and interests and be the true, most authentic versions of themselves and do what they want when they want, right? Experience the world and have fun. Right. And, I think what this means for you is having to work overtime just to make ends meet is certainly not a good thing.
I'm not, working overtime to I make good money. Just I work more so that, I don't know, just so I can, pay for the gas.
Thank you for the League's Cup. I appreciate you.
I would like to keep, this debate civil and respectful. So I'd appreciate it if you guys call me by my name.
Isn't that right, Phil? You want to keep it civil and respectful?
I don't know how you're getting Leah and Phil mixed up, but it's okay.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kick you, Phil.
I'm trying to debate you, and you're just running away.
Get out of here. He's full of shit. We're going to get the next guest connected to the live stream right now. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be mega. Please and thank you. Follow the rules. This guest's name is Let's Debate. Okay. Yo, Layla! Thank you for the $90 donation on PayPal. Holy fuck, Layla. Layla didn't even attach a message to the dono, just sent it straight on through. Layla, thank you so much for the love and support. Holy fuck. Let's get 900 Layla W's down below in that chat. Genuinely, that's so incredibly kind of you. I don't know what the hell is going on today. You guys have chosen to be so very kind to me. Let's go and get 900 Layla W's in the comment section while we hop onto this next debate. Once again, Layla left no message, so I guess I have a message for you. I love you and appreciate you so very much, Layla. That is beyond kind of you. Show some love to Layla down below. Let's debate. Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
I am 21.
What year were you born in?
2004.
Okay. I'm taking a look at your account. It doesn't look like you're a Trump supporter.
Yeah, I know I am.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am sure I did vote for Trump.
Why do you support Trump?
I think that overall he was a better candidate than Kamala Harris and
That's how you pronounce her name.
Than Miss Harris, and I think that we are crazy to vote for such a unqualified person.
Oh, okay. If you were an adult in 2016, who'd you have voted for, Trump or Hillary Clinton?
Who would I have?
Yeah.
I would have probably voted for Trump. I think that Hillary's way worse than...
Even though he had like no experience in politics, no qualifications, but she had a lifetime of politics. Oh,
yes,
okay.
Correct.
So I would assume that when you say that, Harris is less qualified than Trump, you're not saying, right, that, well, Donald Trump had been president before.
Less qualified, plus she has a horrible belief set and doesn't have a firm belief set.
Okay, so in which ways is she less qualified?
She had no background of being a president.
Okay, but I thought that we just debunked that point as it related to Trump v. Hillary Clinton in 2016.
Correct, but
Hillary
Trump
Clinton had served a lifetime.
Trump had a firm,
in government. He had no time. In fact,
belief.
that was like the main reason why people voted for him was that he was
Trump
the outsider. Beliefs. Okay, so then you're saying that Harris isn't qualified because she doesn't have firm beliefs?
Because she fucked her way into office.
Oh, okay. And what's the evidence? That she slept her way into...
There's a ton of evidence. She fucked so many people, dude. What are you talking about?
Okay, well, I mean, you could display the evidence. You can make your case. So do it. Make your case. Display the evidence. You have a lot of people giving you their full attention right now.
No, this is... I can go get it, but it's going to take some time, so it's not relevant to the conversation.
Oh, okay. It's not so it's not relevant to the conversation. It's funny that you say that only after I ask you for evidence and expose.
Back to the original point. No, it isn't.
Yeah. So, what position did she serve in government after being DA of San Francisco?
She went and served as a vice president.
No, wow, this guy doesn't really know his history on
What
Harris.
are you talking about?
She went from being the DA of San Fran to the AG of California to the Senator of the State of California to the Vice President of the United States of America. Specifically, in her senatorial race, she got 40 million votes. So do you think that she slept with 40 million people to get their votes?
No, I think she slept with people that were influential that went and boasted about her and
like who?
There was multiple people. I can go pull up the names if you would like.
Yeah, do it. Pull up the names, buddy.
All right, everybody follow up just so you know. Hold up. Welcome back. Everybody follow my account.
Okay, so no one's following your account. That's really embarrassing. I bet he's just leaving. Jaden, thank you for the $15 on Venmo. Says something, my boy, my conservative buddy sent me a video.
Give me 1 minute.
Talking about how California is taking forever to count votes, and that's why Trump is claiming fraud. How do I shut him up? I appreciate you so much for the $15, Jaden. A good way to shut them up is that just because they take a long time to count votes doesn't mean that there's fraud, and they have to be able to demonstrate fraud. Sure, maybe it gives you suspicion, but I feel like since all the election outcomes from every state are perpetually audited, and there hasn't been a single audit, even from far-right institutions, such as the Heritage Foundation, to demonstrate fraud, that it seems like that suspicion has been quelmed. Jory, thank you for the $18 over on Venmo, who says, not sure anyone already mentioned, but rationality rules to the breakdown of your Jubilee debate with Emily. He gave you your flowers. You are the man. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much for the $18, Jory. Can you actually thank Jory for the $18 donation? And shout out to Rationality Rules, by the way.
Thanks, Jory.
Good boy.
Okay, so...
Because isn't that pretty sad? Like, you came up here to grift, right? You came up here to, say some dumb shit, then beg for followers and beg for gifts.
Willie Brown.
But it seems like the only person who's getting support here right now is me. In fact, could you also thank Jaden for the $15 donation?
Thanks, Jaden. Everybody keep gifting me and give me all them follows. Let's go, guys.
Good boy.
Willie Brown.
Nathan, thank you so much for the $10 donation, who says, I watch you all the time and I study for my laugh certification. Thank you for helping me build a more knowledgeable in my politics. Thank you so much for that love and support, Nathan. Can you thank Nathan for the $10?
Thanks, Nathan. Everybody keep them
coming. Good boy. It seems like they're like... It seems like they're confused. It seems like they're confused because it seems like when you ask for people to donate to you, they just donate to me instead.
Hey, Willie Brown. Kamala Harris slept with Willie Brown, and he went and boasted about her name. That's what.
Who's Willie Brown?
He's a dude within the politics.
Okay, how's he in politics? What did he do in politics? What is he?
Dude, if you want me to go get in, this is back to the original point that Trump.
Oh, okay. So just to clarify, you know nothing about who Willie Brown is or what he's done.
Hold on, let's go back to the original point. That
okay, no. I don't want to go back to the original point. I want to look at your justification for the point that she slept her way to the top.
Let's go, guys. No,
Shannon, thank you so much for the $50 donation on Venmo. Holy fuck. Thank you so much for that love and support,
Everybody keep
Shannon.
gifting,
Shannon
guys.
with
Let's
a
get to
$50
$500.
just drops a little
Galaxy, holy
face,
shit,
a little laughing
Give me a
face. Thank you
galaxy,
so
guys.
much
Galaxy.
for the $50, Shannon. You are awesome.
Guys, come on.
Please show some love to
Galaxy.
Shannon down below in the comment section. That is
Hey,
beyond
they
kind
gave
of
you a galaxy too.
I appreciate you so much for that love and support. Let's get 500 Shannon W's down below,
Give me a
as
galaxy,
well
guys.
as Onyx. Thank you so much for the galaxy. I appreciate you, Shannon and Onyx. Yeah, this is really pathetic, bro.
So can I give my claim, or actually I want to hear why you think Kamala Harris is a better candidate
Kamala's how you pronounce her
than
name.
Trump.
This is like really pathetic. Like you're straight up
why
trying to like bum
Harris
for
is
money,
a better
and then they're
candidate
just
than
sending it to
Trump.
me instead.
They're literally sending me gifts right now. I'm at 400, almost 500.
Do you know how much money that is?
Why do you think that?
Do you know how much money that is?
And I just got a galaxy, buddy.
Very nice. Do you know how much money that is?
Oh, you just got a dinosaur. Good job. Wait. So why do you think Kamala Harris?
Wait. Do you know how much money that is? Like, let's clarify. Do you know how much money that is?
That's like $5. No, that's like $10. A galaxy is, right?
It's $6 on the TikTok
$6,
cash
yeah.
out.
It's still a little bit, you know.
Right,
bread.
and that's exactly why I don't give a fuck. Right, you're trying your best to
You
grip.
probably
You got
go buy a
$6
geek bar with it.
Honestly, if you need $6 that bad to completely make a fool
Please
out of
with the
yourself
geek
on a
bar.
public live stream in front of 15,000
That
people,
geek bar. Somebody
then frankly, I'm happy that we
Give
can
me all
help
the
you
ball.
out. Okay, so now he's just crashing out. We're gonna go to
Yeah.
Kick 'em. Let's go and get that next guest connected to the live stream. I tried to debate him, you guys, but I think that he just wanted to beg for money and followers, so we're going to move on. Honestly, really tells you about the nature and the state of MAGA, right? Like, now they're only willing to come up here for a quote-unquote debate if, they're able to get something personally enriching out of it. Really shows you, just how unfortunately dead the MAGA movement is. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
No, I support just the Democratic Party. I just want to say that you've been very influential to me, and I've learned a whole lot, and so I just wanted to come on here and say that.
That's very kind. Thank you so much, man. That's awesome. Hey, listen, man, we are just looking to talk to Trump supporters, but I appreciate you saying that, and that's awesome that the live streams have had a positive impact. Over on Super Chat, thank you for the $10. And G, who says, Dean, please let MAGA know that DT donated 2 times to VP Harris's campaign because she was good at her job when she was a DA or AG. Absolutely. Good point. Alice, do you support Trump?
Can I ask a question?
I'm going to take that as a no. Jody, thank you for the 14 Australian dollars on Super Chat, who says, been watching the streams for a while now. It's inspired me to educate young people on Australian politics. Things are starting to look scary here from the recent stats. Hope you feel better. Thank you, Jody, and I'm so happy to hear that. Man, I love that. I'm so happy that what we do here inspires other people to go out and do the same thing in their local communities. That is awesome. And Alyssa, thank you for the $50 over on Super Chat as well. What a go, dude. Show some love to Alyssa down below. That is ALYSSA. Alyssa with a 50 says, good evening. Stop by here to say that you're amazing, and I appreciate you for standing by the girls, the gays, and the theys. I'll be back for the VOD later. Alyssa, you are awesome. I hope that you hear this in the VOD later.
Yo,
it is very kind of you. That's a bunch of money, and I'm so very grateful for you. Show some love to Alyssa down below in that comment section. What's up, man? Do you support Trump?
I actually somewhat do, but I disagree with what he's been doing during his second term. I've actually led more towards a Democratic Party, in my opinion, because of what he's done with the immigration and everything, and with the money and gas prices. They've actually impacted a lot more.
I love to hear that, man. It sounds like you're on the right path. We're honestly looking to talk to people who are not on that same right path as you. Hello, Alyssa. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do actually support Trump, but I have some concerns I would like to address because honestly, I don't understand you keep on talking about the gas prices and stuff. Honestly, I feel like that if people.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
I'm not done yet, but you can finish. I just want
to ask you a question real quick. What are your thoughts on Uzbekistan?
I live in the U.S.
I know, but what are your thoughts on Uzbekistan?
If honestly, you just might be broke if you're complaining about gas prices, oh no, $5 a gallon, whoop-de-doo. Honestly, I don't see the big deal, and it's honestly quite ridiculous that you're sitting here laughing when you literally only complain about the
So this is Uzbekistan. What are your thoughts on it?
I don't understand why you need to do this. You are just, I don't even know like what relevance that serves. I don't know why you still have that. Yeah. That is from February from February. I don't know. I don't serve any relevance to that. I don't know what that is supposed to mean. And I don't understand why you're doing
If you don't know what that's supposed to mean, how do you know that I've been on it since February?
I just took random guess the third month, just trying to take a guess.
Thinking about the galaxies. You're just taking a guess?
Yes. I mean, it's only 7 months. We're only in 7 months of the year. It has to be one of the 7.
Listen, Liv, your fake accent sucks.
My name's Alyssa. I don't know what you're talking about.
Really? What are your thoughts on...
Blue, my neck's red. Bill.
Get out of here, dude. Where are they getting these accounts? I feel like there is a coordinated, funded effort from like somebody somewhere that is just arming these trolls with like 1 billion alts. Oh my God, it's a coordinated effort. Welcome into Sport Trump. Coleman, Whipkey is not here, quite frankly. We're gonna move on to Bob over on Super Chat. Little Mister, thank you so much for the $50. Little Mister with a 50 says, just wanted to say, please keep up the amazing job you're doing. Seriously, breath of fresh air. I'm so happy that you take away something positive from the lives. And seriously, thank you very, very much for the $50 on Super Chat. Shout out to you, Little Mister. What a goat. What a goat. Welcome in, Bob, to eSport Trump.
Yes.
You do, Bob. Okay. You all right?
Yes.
Okay, goodbye, Bob. Quite frankly, moving on to the next guest. We got the Noodle Mac connecting. Oh, fucked up the camera. My bad. The Noodle Mac, do you support Trump?
No.
Banned. Moving on to the next guest, Paisley. Luis, thank you for the 50 cents. Sorry. Lissa, thank you for the 50 cents over on PayPal. Heather, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. You're the GOAT. And Elijah, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo, who says, hey, Dean, I've been watching a long time and I have a question. What political issue do you think that people misunderstand the most? Ooh. I don't know. I think that it'd probably fall down to like abortion. A lot of people misunderstand abortion. And I'm even like talking about people who like agree with me. It's like I'm happy that they're pro-choice and there's no other way that I'd have it. But I would honestly say that like a majority of people who are pro-choice just like know that abortion is acceptable, but they don't really like have the argument to describe why. So maybe like I'd say misunderstanding like the underpinning logic, if that makes any sense. And then of course like pro-lifers misunderstand it clearly. Abortion is a pretty big one. You know? Like, for instance, a lot of pro-choicers will, like, argue that, like, the fetus isn't alive until birth. Okay, well, I'm happy that they're pro-choice, but, like, that is wrong, right? Fetus is biologically alive from the moment of conception. Maybe that's a good example. Yeah, abortion is a good example. Hey, welcome into Sport Trump. Okay, no, they're not here. But, of course, it, like, doesn't really, like, annoy me or anything. Why would I care? I'm just happy that they're pro-choice, you know? I don't care about the math that you use to get there. If you are there, I appreciate you. That's all that matters. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the live stream. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. Welcome into Sport Trump.
Go to get that next guest connected to the live stream. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. Welcome into Sport Trump.
Yeah, that is the worst fucking echo that I've ever heard. Good day. Moving on to the next guest, only hop inside of that queue if you're MAGA. I don't know what it is, folks. We just can't find any Trump supporters. Guys, double tap on that phone screen. Shut that live.
I'm a bigger dick than you, Dean Withers. Sorry.
That's some like that's honestly like probably the weirdest thing you could say. Like if you want to like come up here and like talk shit, that's fine. But like I gotta say, that is one of the weirdest ways to talk shit ever. Like, what do you want to fucking do? Compare them? Like, are you hitting on me? You want me to whip it out and say, haha, here's the evidence you're wrong? Because that's the insinuation that I get. Yeah, you want to put them side by side, maybe rub them together a little bit. CU's is bigger. God, Jesus Christ. Let's go to get that next guest, Sophia, loaded up in the box. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. Hey, welcome in. Do you support Trump? Hello? Sophia, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 18.
What year were you born in?
2007.
Okay, sounds good. Let me thank a couple people, then the mic at the floor will be yours. Francisca, thank you so much for the $5, and shout out to your fiance. Lainey, thank you for the $10, who says, hey, Dean, I'm a nurse, and Emily saying Alex Preddy's death was justified because he wasn't a contributing member of society, was because he was a nurse, was disgusting, and we appreciated you defending our field. That debate was laughable. Genuinely, like, one of the worst people of all time. Emily Wilson, like, politics aside, it fucking sucks. She's a terrible, terrible person. Quite frankly, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo and Vintage. Thank you for the blooming. And then Miss Patsy, thank you so very much for the $30 donation on Venmo, who says, hey, Dean. Hey, Patsy. Once again, I hope that your summer's going well. I know that you're a school teacher, and you are awesome, as always. Let's get 300 Patsy W's down below. That is very, very kind of you. Over on Super Chat, thank you for the $50 fam cam. I appreciate you. Who says, I'm far from broke and do just fine even with the high gas prices. I still complain about them all the time. You know why? Because I actually give a shit about how it's affecting my fellow Americans. Caller just outed themselves as self-centered. I know. Yeah, that is exactly what comes to mind when I hear that shit from people on the right. Is they're just so incredibly self-centered and entitled. Thank you so much for the $50 fam cam. Let's get 500 fam cam W's. That's very kind of you. All that being said, we're caught up. If you want to support me, you can find the Venmo and the PayPal and the link tree in the bio on TikTok. Pin message over on that other place, and the at's right there. Dean Withers without the Ian Withers. Best way to ask a question, get a message across, or to roast the guest is definitely Venmo and PayPal. Go ahead and take it away, Sophia. Tell us why you support Trump.
All right. First off, I want to say I'm actually a big fan of yours. We could not agree on less politically, but you know, I am a big fan of the way you debate and the way you speak to people, and I'm a big fan of the way you inspire younger people to get into politics.
Very interesting. You know, I hear that every so often, and it's hard for me to understand. But I mean, hey, it's good because at least, you know, you'll hear me out for what I have to say. And that's the preferable outcome. But take it away. Tell us why you support Trump. You got my attention.
So, I would not consider myself MAGA. I consider myself a supporter of Trump, but I think that a lot of MAGA can come across as very cultish.
Right.
I think the reason I support Trump the most is I approve and I am a fan of a lot of the people he places in positions. I think Marco Rubio is a great Secretary of State. I like most of his Supreme Court appointments.
Yes. You know, not even Trump agrees with you. He has this issue with either hiring people he personally doesn't like or people who are terrible at their jobs. So much so to the extent that either the country ends up hating them and opting to fire them, like we opted to fire the first Trump administration, or he ends up hating them and then he opts to fire them. You know, like if he was so good at like hiring people, what the fuck happened to Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi? God, I tried to ignore their names in my head. Who else do we have? Who else has been fired? I don't know. We had Tulsi. And then one other person who I forget. All women, by the way. If he was so good at hiring people, why has he already fired 4 of his cabinet members in the first year and a half?
Because part of his problem is he hires people who kiss his ass.
Well, that's actually not part of his problem. That's part of his plan. So, big issue with the first Trump administration was a lot of the people he hired weren't ass kissers and actually had some principles, like Mike Pence. He, although I disagree with him on a lot, will go down in history as a good guy because of his defense of the American democracy on January 6th. And even though he had Trump pressuring him into co-signing himself to fake votes in Congress and a bunch of people screaming, hang Mike Pence because he won it, he still chose the Constitution over Trump. Or the AG. I forget his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyways, the AG governing over the DOJ in his first term, Donald Trump had requested that he falsely announce widespread voter fraud when there wasn't any evidence of any. Bill Barr, AG Bill Barr. And then Bill Barr said, no, I'm not going to do it. And that really threw a wrench in Donald Trump's plans for the election. But so this time he's learned. So this time he's only opted to hire loyalists, regardless if it's people like the acting Attorney General, Todd Blanche, who is literally on record saying that he's quote unquote in love with Trump. Insanity, or his attacks on the ex-head of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, because he wouldn't just make up the data to serve Trump's narrative. He wants people who are willing to place him over everything else, including our democracy, including our Constitution, and including the facts.
I 100% agree with you. I think that is a large part of his issue is I think he's a good politician. I don't think he's a good person. And I think that's true for most of our politicians.
Okay, but like specifically the argument that I just gave that seemingly you agree with, that he has this big issue with installing loyalists in his cabinet positions that are willing to co-sign themselves to anything that Trump wants. And honestly, he fires them when they aren't. But this would definitely stand in confliction with your first point that the reason why you support Trump is because of his cabinet appointments. Okay, because it seems like in that breath of you agreeing with my evaluation that he just installs loyalists, you're kind of agreeing that his appointments are bad because his appointments shouldn't be loyalists.
I think some of his appointments are loyalists. I think others have been historically decent politicians. You said I have huge respect for Mike Pence for the way he handled January 6th. I like his former Attorney General.
He made some good appointments in his first term. Mike Pence and Jerome Powell. They were decent.
Jerome Powell, thank you.
Jerome Powell was actually pretty good. But so that's why you support Trump? Because of Jerome Powell, who's gone?
No, I support... Wow, sorry. I support Donald Trump because I believe he has done a better job at building a team of people around him to support him than the former president did.
So this is very vague. How about this? So you're saying that he's done a good job at building a good team of people. Okay, well, that in of itself isn't going to be meaningful, but rather what's going to be meaningful is how this quote-unquote team positively and efficiently benefits the country. So how has this great dream team benefited America in the last year and a half? You know, Mr. DUI hire Pete Hegseth, Miss Scam Bondi, Miss Dr. Oz, the nut job, Brainworm RFK Jr., how have they benefited the team? Benefited the country. It almost seems like you're just being vague on purpose.
I think most of the people he has hired to handle foreign policy have done a relatively good job. I do not think Donald Trump does a good job at handling foreign policy at all, but I think sending J.D. Vance to Iran to handle foreign policy, that was a good call. J.D. Vance has proven himself to be rather good at handling foreign policy.
Okay.
I think
and what did J.D. Vance achieve?
He's achieved nothing so far, but he's handling peace talks.
During a war that we wouldn't be in if Trump lost the election.
I disagree.
So you think we'd be in this war today if Harris had won?
I think we would be in this war today no matter what happened. I think when we launched the war on terror, we launched the precursors to this war. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just think that's cope. I think that's, MAGA's new claim is that, well, if Harris had won, that we wouldn't be in this war. Harris has explicitly said that we wouldn't be in this war if she won. She has explicitly condemned the war in Iran. And the most anti-war administration in modern American history was the Biden-Harris administration. They are the only admin in modern U.S. history that we were actively not at war under.
Part of the reason we were actively not at war was because for 2 years of that administration, the entire world was under lockdown.
Okay. And?
Nobody's going to war when there's a global pandemic.
Okay. Well, Russia sure did.
Russia sure did, and Russia is getting their ass
so
handed to them.
that's obviously not true. February of 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine.
2 years after the pandemic.
And 1 year after Biden was
precisely my
inaugurated.
point.
And you said 2 years of the Biden-Harris administration.
Okay, I'm sorry, I miscounted. That was my...
So for like 1 year of the Biden administration, we're in a lockdown. So what about the other 3?
The other 3, we basically got shit on.
Why?
Our troops died in Ukraine.
Actually, our troops died in Ukraine.
All right, and like...
Okay, she left. That's unfortunate. If you want to come back to continue our dialogue, you're more than welcome to join. I think that you joined on a really respectful note, and I'm down to continue that dialogue. Just because you blundered by saying that our troops died in Ukraine doesn't mean that you got a dip. You could just say that you were wrong and that you misspoke. That's fine. And feel free to rejoin if you want. Welcome into Sport Trump. Hello. Are you MAGA? Hello. Not here. So we're going to move on to the next guest. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. Did this stream just freeze? Okay, it did freeze, but not just like locally on my end, not, publicly across the internet. That's good. Q, thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Q. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I could pronounce your name, so I'm just gonna call you Q. I hope that's okay. Because I don't want to butcher the pronunciation of your name. Q with a $50 says 55-year-old black female federal employee here. Been following your lives and bravo. Thank you for fighting the good fight, young man. Keep it going. Dude, listen, Q. I am so grateful for you. I am beyond grateful for you. I love hearing positive feedback from older generations, my parents' generation, because it tells me that I'm on the right path. And just know I'm so very grateful for you being here. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the stream, and thank you so very much for the $50 dono. While we're starting this next debate, please show some love to Miss Q in that comment section. Lincoln, do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do, Dean.
Okay, Lincoln. So how old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay, Link. Why do you support Trump?
Yeah, greatest president ever, man. Great dude. Loves America. Puts us first before other countries.
Yeah.
Really looks out for the people of the United States. Jobs are good.
Jobs are good.
Everything's good, man. Life's great with Trump wearing the pants. It's kind of like the man in the relationship. Trump wears the pants, right? So what Trump wants, Trump gets, and I love that for us.
Very interesting. So was the unemployment rate higher today or a year and a half ago under Biden?
Well, see, what Biden did is Biden made it really hard for Trump to do what he's got to do now. And we're feeling that, but
so that's not an answer
if Biden hadn't done what he done, made it so hard.
So I promise that this isn't an answer to my question.
I don't think the American people would be feeling this strong effect right now if it wasn't for Biden.
Well, I mean, you just got done saying that everything is great, right?
Yeah, no, everything is great.
Oh, okay. So then why last year did we have the worst jobs reported in 20 years ignoring recessions? Why do we have the most manufacturing bankruptcies in 10 years? Why has business investment gone down every single financial quarter since Donald Trump's inauguration? Okay, and why have we seen the largest increase in the price of gas in a month since the Vietnam War in 1967? And why have we also seen the highest level of unemployment and the most layoffs since the pandemic? If everything is so great, why is the economy at one of its worst points in modern American history?
Are you done?
I'm sure that you could pick up on context clues, most notably the fact that I stopped talking, Lincoln.
Are you good, Dean?
I'm ready for a response.
Yeah, I think Trump's amazing.
Okay. So that doesn't actually respond to my rebuttal of your position. It seems like you just want to delude yourself into believing in this make-believe fairy tale world where we don't have the most inflation for groceries in 4 years, where we don't have the worst jobs report in 20, where we don't have the most manufacturing bankruptcies in 15. But regardless of what you feel, that certainly doesn't change the fact that we do. So how about you reacquaint yourself with reality, wake up to the facts, either give a counter rebuttal to the substance of my position, or get lost, you uneducated fool.
Hey, can I ask you a quick question real quick, Dean?
Of
like,
course.
in all honesty. Hey, so you remember the other day when you were debating that woman's father, and you had that little bubble, that said, "Don't harass her dad."
Yeah.
So that just screams that that the people in your chat do harass other people, and
I do know that.
Wow, that's actually terrible. Yeah, and that's something that you support.
No, it's actually something that I explicitly
which is
condemn.
actually terrible because, yeah, that's terrible that you know about this.
It's something that I explicitly condemn.
And you fail to try to stop it.
Okay. Well,
absolutely horrible.
So I don't think I've failed to stop it because I've never intended to completely stop it because I understand that I can't completely stop it. I do disagree with people who send hate DMs to anybody who joins my live stream, spams their comment section, so on and so forth, because it like generally disincentivizes others from joining up. And you know, I want to focus on dialogue, right? And I make that clear. It's not something that I support. So seems like your argument.
Okay, so everybody that sends
listen,
me a
I'm
message,
not like Trump.
after this live stream,
I'm not like Trump.
I'm gonna go ahead and take a screen.
I'm not like Trump. I'm
gonna go ahead and take a screenshot and send it to you.
Political opponent.
And then that way you can see exactly how shitty your fan base is here.
Well, would you say somebody would be shitty if they called for your execution, Lincoln?
I don't give a fuck, man. I just go to work, make money, live the American dream.
Oh, because now you're seeing how I'm going to wrap this into Trump. You just got done saying the people who harass you in your DMs would be shitty people, okay? And that would include just them saying, like, shut the fuck up, you're ugly and poor, right? Like, okay, that would be harassment. So you're saying somebody would be shitty if they tell you to shut the fuck up because you're ugly and poor. So clearly, if somebody hit the DMs calling for you to die, saying that you should be hung, that'd be like the most shitty among the DMs that you could possibly get. I can't really imagine something worse that somebody could say to you, right? Wait. Donald Trump
like
has
this guy's
that.
name in the just like this guy's name
Congress.
in the chat is Charlie.
So yes or no?
Like what the fuck is wrong
Donald
with you,
Trump shitty?
No, absolutely not. You're a great president.
So then the people who harass you in your DMs aren't shitty even if they call for your death?
In my opinion, no.
Oh, okay. So then why did you say they were?
Yeah, just some of the things they say I just think is really harsh.
Well, I think that you were being honest when you said that they would be shitty to call for your death because that's true, clearly, right? It's undisputably true. If somebody were to call for your death because you disagree with them politically, they're a shitty person, right? Undeniably true. But then you remember Trump did it, and then you had to walk that one back, and then you had to apologize for saying that people are shitty for calling for the execution of their political opponents. Then you had to say, I didn't mean that I said somebody would be shitty if they called for the execution of their political opponents. And this is exactly why I think that the right is the most violent. Because you guys explicitly endorse and promote people who call for the deaths and execution of their political dissenters to the extent where you can't even agree that it's a shitty thing to do. Get fucked.
Dude, you have people who have names in the chat. Charlie Kirk's neck. What the fuck is wrong?
Okay. Are you debating me or like some?
Yeah, I'm debating you.
Chat. Perfect. So then respond to what
I mean. You do act like you're 16 years old. If I'm being honest,
is that why you're talking to me, Lincoln?
Very feminine.
Is that why you're talking to me, Lincoln? Because I act like a 16-year-old.
No,
I know that Republicans like to take it pretty easy on pedophiles. Did you see that Trump endorsed Ken Paxton gave a 1-day jail sentence to a man named Adam who'd raped a 3rd grader?
Yikes, man.
Trump endorsed him. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't believe it without proof.
So you don't believe that Ken Paxton gave a 1-day jail sentence to a child rapist, or you don't believe that Trump endorsed him? Which one?
Never heard about either. You know what's going on at Delaney?
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to go to put you on mute, then find you the proof. Ken Paxton, 1-day sentence to child rapist. Trump endorses Ken Paxton. This will be really easy to do. Alrighty, let's see.
Here we go, encyclopedia.
Perfect. All right, so here's the source. This is coming from Snopes. Ken Paxton tried to get a child rapist one day in jail. Let's take a look at that together. And we'll also throw this up over on the other place. Phenomenal. This is from Snopes. Texas AG Ken Paxton's office let a man accused of child sexual abuse receive a short jail term. Scrolling down. Claim the office of the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, a Republican candidate for the Senate in 2026, brokered a plea deal for a man accused of child sexual abuse that allowed him to serve only 30 days in jail and not have to register as a sex offender. This claim is true. Context: Adam Hoffman's original trial in 2025 ended with a hung jury. Paxton's office offered a plea deal rather than to retry the case, saying that the accuser preferred to move on with their life. The deal reduced Hoffman's charges to indecent assault and display of harmful materials to a minor, accompanied by an admission of intent to abuse a victim without specifying an age. Because his admission did not include the victim's age, Hoffman was not required to register. The deal proposed 1 day of jail time, but a judge lengthened it to 30. Perfect. So, should I now show you where Trump endorsed him?
Oh, shit. Yeah, so are you done?
Yeah. So do you accept that Ken Paxton offered a 1-day jail sentence to a child rapist?
I didn't hear anything you were reading. Sorry, I was cooking dinner. Can you read that again?
I'll just show it on the screen again. It's a fact check from Snopes.
Can you read it again?
Sure, I'll read you the specific quote.
All right, I'm going to get back to cooking dinner. Read that one more time.
The deal proposed 1 day of jail time. There you go. So do you agree that I've... Yeah. So do you agree that I've demonstrated to you that Ken Paxton offered 1 day in jail to a child rapist?
No. Did you see him do it?
Well, I mean, I didn't see him do it, but we don't need to see people do things in order to believe that they did do it, because we could have other evidence outside of directly what we see to prove things, like court documents.
Hey, honey, dinner will be done in 10 minutes.
Why are you shouting to somebody that doesn't exist?
One more time, sorry, dude.
Why are you screaming for somebody who isn't real?
Oh, yeah, my girlfriend's watching TV in the living room, cooking dinner right now, dude.
Yeah, nice lie. Now, do you agree that I've given you evidence that Ken Paxton offered a 1-day jail sentence to a child rapist?
No, he didn't do that.
Okay, but I just gave you evidence of it. I gave you a Snopes fact check.
Hey, Dean, are you going to vote for Trump again in
So why do you dispute the Snopes facts check?
Hey, do you believe Trump's going to be able to run again in 2028? Do you think Trump's going to run again in 2028? Why do you dispute the Snopes fact check?
Why are you running? Why do you dispute this? Why do you dispute the Snopes fact check? You guys are children, I swear. Listen, guys, they operate on the same emotional maturity levels like a toddler, right? Like, I'm not coming at this from the perspective that I'm talking to an adult. I'm coming at this from the perspective that I'm talking to a small child. You know how, like, when a small child doesn't get their way, they throw a tantrum, they shield their ears, they close their eyes, and they just act like they can't hear you. They do whatever they want, and they lash out.
Hey, Dan, are you going to vote for
Well, that's essentially the way that I have to treat these guys. So, Lincoln, 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. Put a bubble in the mouth. Let's make sure you could hear me. Make sure I'm clear. I'll put the bubble in your mouth for you. So I did give you a fact check from Snopes that does indeed prove that Ken Paxton offered 1 day in jail to a child rapist. And it's not just from Snopes. We also have the same reporting from The Texan. We have the same reporting from Jezebel with the Splinter. We have the same reporting from Dallas News. We have the same reporting from many institutions. So once again, why do you doubt the Jezebel, Dallas News, Snopes, and The Texan? Why do you think they're all lying? Oh, did baby give up?
No, I'm here. I'm just tired of you muting me. Yeah, you just keep muting me, so I don't know if, it's even worth to fucking push the button.
Okay. So now that I've given you reporting from The Texan, Jezebel, Dallas Daily, and Snopes that this is indeed something Ken Paxton did, do you concede? Baby, do you concede, you fucking child?
No, I think Trump's the greatest president. Are you going to vote for JD Vance in 2028?
So let's expand on that, child. I understand that your attention is very easily diverted to another subject because you're like a 4-year-old mentally. But maybe if I had some keys, I'd be able to shake them in the air and say, let's focus in on the last thing you said. So the last thing that you said is that you disagree. Okay, why?
The last thing I said is, are you going to vote for JD Vance in 2028?
The last thing you said that was relevant to the topic was that you disagree that this is something.
Well, can you answer my question?
No.
You're not going to vote for him, or you're not going to answer it?
I'm not going to answer your question.
But why wouldn't you vote for
Okay,
JD Vance
I'll
in
answer your
2028?
question after you just explain why you think that Snopes, Dallas Daily, Jezebel, and the Texan are all lying about Ken Paxton offering a one-day jail sentence to a child rapist. By the way, we all see straight through your bullshit. You're so cringe. You're so childish. You look terrible right now. I fucking own you, dude. I'm your fucking daddy, dude. I have you in a terrible position where you have nowhere to go to.
Curious.
You have nothing to say. You were just rolling over and showing us all your belly, and it's clear daylight making a complete fool out of yourself. We all understand that you've been beat, that you've been provided 4 sources that Ken Paxton offered a one-day jail sentence to a child rapist, and you are pathetically trying to turn the conversation into something else, like JD Vance running in 2028. You're like, literally, your idiocracy is and your ego are just on full display to all viewers. So why don't you go ahead and concede and admit that you were wrong for the first time in your life? You fucking moid.
Absolutely not. I'm not wrong, Dean. I'm making it very clear that JD Vance will win the election.
Okay, so I'm not talking about JD Vance. I'm talking about Ken Paxton.
Hey, let's actually talk about Trump.
Oh, so let's not talk about something other than Ken Paxton?
Hey, why are you getting red?
No, I'm not getting red. I'm just simply asking you to respond to what I said about Ken Paxton.
Hey, Dean Withers, watch your fucking tone. You understand?
Oh, now he's getting really mad. You're about to crash out, right? Go ahead and cry. Go ahead and cry like the baby you fucking are. Babies do that. Babies cry all the time. Watch your fucking tone. What are you gonna do? Punch another hole through your wall? What are you gonna do? Oh, there's gonna be another hole through your wall. Oh, the drywall is really gonna get it this time because Dean Withers didn't watch his tone. Sit down. Tell me. Why don't you believe Ken Paxton offered a one-day? No, you better watch your fucking tone, Dean. Bitch. Yeah, dude has like steam coming out of his ears. His eye is twitching. He's sweating from his forehead. Watch your fucking tone, bitch. So go ahead and respond to the evidence that I gave you that Ken Paxton offered a one-day jail sentence to a child rapist.
Watch your fucking tone with me, bitch. Hey, bitch.
We broke him.
Watch your fucking tone.
Okay, I broke this toy. Let's go ahead and play with another one. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, please, and thank you. Who is next? Jamie, thank you so much for the well diving. Only hop inside of the queue if you are a Trump supporter, please, and thank you. Make sure that you're following the rules of the live stream. Wow, yeah, we really broke that guy. That's crazy. That's actually nuts. Over on Venmo, Jocelyn, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. I appreciate you. And I'm so sorry to hear that. You said no need to read out loud, so I will keep it to myself. Just know that I'm sorry to hear that, Jocelyn. Same thing to you, Ben. Thank you for the $5. Aaron, thank you for the $50. And Tracy, thank you for the $60. Oh my God. Aaron and Tracy, you guys are so kind. That is ERIN and TRACI. Please show some massive love to Aaron and Tracy down below. Tracy with the $60 says, keep cooking, Dean. I'm trying my best. Thank you for the $60 dono. And Aaron with the 50 says, keep on doing what you do, Dean. I've been watching you for a while. My dad passed in 23, and since then I've watched your streams whenever I need to go good laugh after a hard day. Keep on being you. I'm so sorry to hear about your dad, but I am very happy that our live stream gives you a good laugh. I'm so happy that our live stream is able to help people out in ways that I don't consider, and I take great accomplishment in that. Please show some love to Tracy and Aaron down below. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? Going once. Amber going twice. Banned and sold to Jordan. Adriana, thank you for the $5.
No,
that's cool, Adriana. Thank you for letting me know. Hey, welcome in, Jordan. Do you support Trump?
Actually, I just stopped supporting Trump, so...
Hey, Based. You're the GOAT. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Moving on to the next guest, Annalise. Whitney, thank you for the $50 over on Venmo. Let's get 500 Whitneys in that chat. Thank you, Whitney. The GOAT. Whitney with the 50 says, Maynard here. A lot of us are independent because Emmy is so economically diverse, fiscally conservative, socially democratic. State wanted to get rid of Collins. What's your take on Plattner? I appreciate for the as a woman, I hate him. As leaning Democrat, I feel like we need to do this to get Collins out. Wanting your opinion. My opinion is essentially the same of yours. Clearly, he's not like the preferable choice in retrospect to maybe what a more idealistic progressive candidate would look like. But he is better than the opponent, so I would vote for him if I was in Maine. Thank you for the $50, Whitney. And also, when you say that you're fiscally conservative yet socially democratic, you're probably not. You're probably fiscally democratic, and you just don't even know it. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the box. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. Anthony, thank you for the $10. He says, thank you for kicking that guy. He surely wasn't trying to have a real debate. I appreciate you for the $10, Anthony. He was a nut job. Spin, do you support Trump?
I do support Trump, but I'm joining because I'm kind of curious. I don't even know why I support Trump, to be honest. It's more of my family, but okay. I'm here to like listen to your opinion, and maybe you can change that.
Okay, yeah. Well, man, listen, we're looking to debate people on live that, have a formed opinion and think they have reasons why they hold it. But the primary intention with the live streams isn't just to change the mind of the person I'm debating, but is also to try to change the minds of those watching by giving them more information. What I'd recommend to you, man, is just to... what I'd recommend for you to do, man, is just to tune into the live stream and to hear me out for what I have to say. Maybe leave it running in the background while you're doing chores or doing something around the house,
Sounds good. I really appreciate that. It was nice talking to you, man.
Yeah, have a good one, Spin. Love to hear it. Love your open mind as well. Love your open mind. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the live stream. Holy cow. Joe, thank you for the $6. And Amy, thank you for the $20. He says, I'm recovering from surgery to remove cancer. Appreciate all your education and entertainment. Well, I hope that the recovery period goes well, and I hope that it doesn't come back. My thoughts and prayers are with you, Amy. Please show some love to Amy in that chat. As well as Jacob, thank you for the $20 on PayPal. He says, I dislike it when these MAGA supporters bring up Harris because all they do is disrespect her. I used to think that she slept her way to the top, but I opened my mind and listening to you, and that was not the case. Women shouldn't be disrespected like that at all. It's sad. Jacob, you used to be a Trump supporter. You've told me this before. And I'm so happy that we could change your mind, and I'm so happy that you could see that that was some bullshit. Thank you for the $20. And same thing to you, SJ. Thank you for the $10 as well, who says, to add on to my dono from earlier, because somebody in the chat told us not to donate, and I don't like being told what to do. You're awesome. You know it. Show some love to SJ down below. Joseph, welcome in. I'm going to assume that you're not a Trump supporter because you're a big-time Christian.
No, I support Trump.
Okay. So you're not a Christian.
Yeah, I am definitely a Christian.
Okay, so what's one Christian value that the Trump administration represents?
I believe in Jesus. I can't help it if you don't. I'm sorry.
So what's one Christian value that the Trump admin represents?
Well, let's see. He made prayer legal in school again for the first time. One of the first presidents to ever do it.
Okay,
let's see.
So you think like a Christian value is like forcing people to be Christian in school by implementing them?
See, no, we don't force prayers. Only Muslims are allowed to force their prayers upon people in Michigan.
Okay.
You can hear their prayers
and that's
5
why
times
Christians
a day.
baptize
You
children.
can't hear any Christian's prayer unless you come to TikTok, really. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
you can't
why
hear
Christians baptize children.
on the loudspeaker, you know what I mean?
So you don't like
they
when
even
people
have it
pray in
written in
public.
Muslim on
Okay,
their, like,
hey,
police
focus on me. Focus on me. The topics aren't your thoughts on Muslim individuals. I don't doubt it that you're very Islamophobic, and we'll likely get around to it. No, the topic right now is how is Trump a Christian?
Islamic friends.
Hey, focus on me. Hey. The question is, what are the Christian values in which Trump represents? And you're saying one of them is making it legal to pray in school. So
loving people, caring about people. That guy that was going to jump off the side of the bridge in Brooklyn, he stopped his limo and talked to him and gave him a job. So Michael Jackson was getting chased out of California by Kamala Harris, and he let Michael Jackson stay with him for 9 months. Let Mike Tyson stay with him too. Wrote him a $10 million check.
So loving and caring about people. So if Donald Trump loved and cared about people, well then he wouldn't be attempting to implement a full and complete shutdown on all Muslim entry into the country. That's not loving thy neighbor, that's hating thy neighbor. He also wouldn't be taking healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans when we already have 51,000 that die every single year via lack of access to healthcare. Because that's not loving thy neighbor, that is killing thy neighbor. Same thing with his policy on food stamps, same thing with his reduction of the purchasing power of the working class, and same thing with his assaults on the 160 girls in Iran. Okay, Donald Trump is the last person alive who loves his neighbor, right? And you're telling me that I can't make these judgments because now I'm damned. No, I'm just simply stating the facts of the matter. And I don't like your theory of debate that you have the right to posit the claim that Donald Trump loves and cares about other people. Yet when anybody attempts to prove that claim to be false, they can't do it because they're judging people and they're damned. Okay, well, maybe you could say that I'm damned, but you can't say that I'm wrong. If you love people, you don't kill them. If you love people, you don't put them in undesirable conditions where now they can't access essential social services like healthcare or food stamps. If you love people, you don't illegally refuse to pay out their food stamps, specifically referencing the 16 million American children who went without them for 2 weeks because Donald Trump didn't want to give them to them. Go ahead and unmute.
They're burning up dogs on Skid Row in California, and that's under Democratic leadership.
Wow. So can you respond to the claim that I made, please?
Can you respond to mine?
No, because it seems to be quite irrelevant to the conversation topic,
that's Gavin Newsom.
Does Donald Trump represent Christian values?
Skid Row, why don't you guys love dogs? Why do you let them get unalived and let them put, that stuff in them and inject in it? First they inject the dogs with that stuff. This is pretty pathetic. And then they catch them on fire.
The topic of debate is, does Donald Trump represent Christian values? You claim that he does because he loves other people. I gave you a really good counter-argument against that. Can you respond to my counter-argument without making some wild claims about Democrats and Skid Row?
He brought back prayer. He hit 50 different Muslim strongholds where they were unalived. You asked me to respond. I'm trying to respond.
To any of the reasons that I gave
you. Won't let me. Let me respond.
This doesn't respond.
Can I respond, or are you just going to keep on interrupting me?
Well, you're just making new claims. You're not responding to the
No,
ones
I'm
that I
not
already
making new
posited.
claims. I said on Christmas night, Trump hit up 50 Muslim strongholds where they were unaliving Christians.
Where?
See, you don't know. Wow, Sudan. You didn't know that? Look it up.
What country?
Chat GPT it all you want. Sudan and there's another one, Syria.
Okay, so he bombed Syria, and that proves that he loves people?
Oh, yeah. They were unaliving, it was a Christian country, but they turned it Muslim by unaliving so many Christians, and then they were lining them up for the slaughter, and they would have to dig their own graves. So then they would behead them, so they wouldn't have to do anything. They made them dig their own graves, and then they would just, Christians line up for the slaughter, and you guys love Muslims, and that's okay, right? It's okay for them to come over here and bring their hatred, and they're allowed to beat on their wives. That's okay, right?
Okay, so you're essentially saying if we could identify
what the Democrats support.
like one Muslim or like one group of Muslims that are like very clearly doing bad things.
Sports?
So I'm going to ask you to stop interrupting me, so I could respond to what you said about Muslim people. Can I do that, Joseph?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Good boy.
Good
so
girl.
essentially what you're saying here is that, I guess you could be a girl with a penis, so thanks for conceding that topic. Back to what I was saying.
I got 6 kids older than you.
Okay, and leave it to MAGA to ask to talk about my genitalia. They're weird guys.
I didn't talk about it. You did, Jack.
We already know that MAGA is weird.
Mo, I didn't mention it. That's all you talked about.
Yeah, you did. You started talking about my penis.
You talked about it because you're gay.
Now you're saying that I'm gay. So now wait, you want me to be a little femboy with a penis that's gay for you?
That's how you're acting.
No, that's whoa! Wait, so wait! I'm a femboy that's gay for you.
Do that.
No. You're saying whoa. So I'm just over here like trying to respond to your claims about Muslim people, and then the response is, Dean, you're a gay femboy that wants me bad. Listen, buddy. Listen, my friend. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But happy Pride Month, okay? Now, I'm going to respond to what you said about Muslim people.
Married? He has a wife? You have a wife?
Well, I have a girlfriend.
Said you had a wife? I was like, what? No, this little kid has a wife. You have a wife?
I have a girlfriend. But I just want to set the record straight. I will not be your gay little femboy. I'm okay. Thank you for the offer, though.
You want to be gay? That's up to you, buddy.
No, I will not be your gay little femboy. I'm sorry, bro.
See, you're not going to win, Dean. You've never won a debate.
You're gonna force me to be your gay little femboy. I won't be able to say. Okay, that's really fucking weird. That is like
See,
seriously
you've
really
lost.
weird.
Once you curse, you lose a debate automatically. And you know
Okay,
it.
but then when Trump rapes a woman, he doesn't lose the presidency, right?
He didn't rape anybody.
Mar, thank
He
you so
didn't
much for
rape
the $7 over on Venmo. I really appreciate you so much for that love and support, Mar. That's very kind of you. Let's see, who else do we have here? Thank you, Cole, for the $2. And over on Super Chat, thank you, Ian, for the €10, who says, I'd love if America's students had to do a year's study abroad as a part of your curriculum. Break you out of the Americocentric mindset. Well, I appreciate for the €10, and I think that would be a good idea if we had a little bit more money, because that's pretty expensive. All right, man. Let's go back to your claim about Muslims. You said, I'm sure that we could identify groups of Muslims that are pretty bad, pretty tyrannical, pretty evil. Therefore, like all Muslims are bad, tyrannical, and evil. Is that your claim?
No.
Okay, what's your claim?
That there's good-hearted Muslims, there's good-hearted Christians, and there's bad-hearted Christians, and there's bad-hearted Muslims. That's it.
So that seems to be the complete opposite of what you're suggesting earlier. Because you said that, all these Muslims want to kill Christians, and then the Democrats want to let them into the country.
It's okay for them to smack... No, I'm sorry. It's okay for them to strike their wife if first they don't sleep with them, then that's how they kick them out of the bed. And then the third thing they do is they're allowed to strike them, but not unalive them, but they're allowed to strike them. But if they cheat on them, then they are allowed to do that.
Wow. Have you ever read Exodus 21, verses 20 through 21?
We don't live under that covenant. Christians live under the New Testament, Dean.
Well, I mean,
not the Old
I'm just like
I'm just trying to help you. I'm being honest.
Striking parallels to how, in accordance with the literal text of the Christian Bible, it says that you're allowed to strike a slave as long as they don't die. I just did.
No, it doesn't say that in the
Exodus
Christian
21,
Bible.
verses 20 through 21.
No, it doesn't. I'll go there right now.
Okay. All right, I'm just like striking similarity there. Listen, here's what I'll say.
No, it's nothing.
I think that I'm gonna kick you if you don't shut up.
I'm in Exodus 35.
I'm gonna kick you if you don't shut up. So first and foremost, I think that all theocracies inevitably lead to authoritarianism and very bad outcomes. All right, this will include the Islamic theocracies in the Middle East, like the IRGC. They're terrible, and this includes many Christian theocracies throughout history. Okay.
No, it don't
also, for the most part, theocracies are created.
You lied.
Then what does it say?
It don't say that. Exodus 21:25.
No, Exodus 21 verses 20 through 21.
20 through 21. It says, and if a man smite a servant or his maid, it says nothing about his wife, with a rod, and he unalive under his hand, he shall be surely punished.
And then
nothing
what's
about
verse 21 say?
Nothing about
And then
your
what does
wife.
verse 21
nothing
say?
About your
you
wife.
just read verse
Nothing.
20. What does verse 21 say?
Here, I'll go down there. Let me go. See, notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money.
Yeah, see the striking similarity there?
No, there is no similar. You said it said that in the Bible, and I said, no, it don't. And you said, yes, it does.
Yeah, I mean, you just read it. It says that you could beat your slaves as long as they don't
I'll wait until you get something right. I'll wait.
I'm sorry, just because like you want to say that my claim wasn't true doesn't mean that it wasn't true. I mean, you just read it out for us very clearly. The NIV translation of, once again, Exodus 21, 20 through 21 is, and I quote, anyone who beats their male or female slave with a rod must be punished if the slave dies as a direct result, but they're not to be punished if the slave recovers after a day or two, since the slave is their property. Listen, the reason why I give you this verse is because in the same way that we could play this game of demonizing Islam because of the interpretation that some...
You said...
Oh, yeah. So apparently in Islam, it allows you to beat your wife. In Christianity, it allows you to beat your slave. The point is that it seems to be, under some interpretations of both religions, it allows you to beat other people.
No, it doesn't. We live under the new covenant, Dean. If you would like believe in God, you would know that.
And
you
there's
would know
your
we
interpretation.
don't live by those 613 laws no more. We can't do it. We live under the 10 commandments of the New Testament.
You're proving my point quite well. You're now saying, Dean, the fundamentalist and strict interpretation
you don't understand
of the
the
scripture
Bible.
of the Quran. I'm going to go and put you on mute, buddy. Because I don't think you're seeing the point. I need you to listen. Because you're proving my point. You're saying, Dean, I have an interpretation of the Christian Bible that does not lead to the conclusion that it's okay to beat people. Okay, thank you. The same way many Muslims don't have an interpretation of the Quran that leads to the conclusion that it's okay for a husband to beat his wife.
No, it's not the same thing, Dean.
It is.
And it's not the same thing. The borrower is the lender's slave.
It is the same
That's how
thing.
it is in the Old Testament.
It
when
is
you borrowed
the exact
something from
same
somebody,
thing.
you had to work it off. And you weren't allowed to unalive your slave or nothing like that. And it wasn't like that. It says in the New Testament, Paul says, you're no longer a slave, you're my brother. Period. See, God put a lasso around sin, and in the New Testament, he changed it all. There is no slave nor bot. There's only believers, people that love Jesus.
He's really walking into
no
the
matter
point.
if they're Chinese, black, white, Puerto Rican.
He's
doesn't
really
matter. They can come to Jesus.
He's really walking into the point. Once again, for the second time.
Once again, for the second time, he got it all.
Once again, for the second time, thank you for proving my point by further expanding.
He said it. It says that you beat your wife.
I'm going to mute you.
It don't say that.
For the second time.
You lied.
For the second time, thank you for expanding on your interpretation of the Christian scripture that interprets it in such a way where it's not okay to beat people, even though it says so in Exodus, because we live under the new covenant, or it's not okay to own slaves, even though it says so in Leviticus 25 verses 44 through 46, because it's actually just a form of moral indentured servitude. That's my point. My point is that you and many other Christians interpret the Bible in such a way that does not yield the conclusion that these grave immoralities are acceptable. And that's the point. Muslims do that too, right? Like, you could point me towards literal words on paper in the Hadiths, in the Quran, that seem to be very moral. Pro-slavery, pro-wife beating, pro-pedophilia. All right. Well, in the same way, you have an interpretation and a spin on the verses in the Bible that say slavery, genocide, and beating other people is okay. They kind of also have a spin on some of the verses in the Quran and Hadiths that surround slavery, beating wives, and pedophilia. The point is that vast majority of Muslims, like a lot of Christians, don't hold on to this archaic and fundamentalist interpretation of their religious scripture, and that's all that matters.
They're allowed to strike their wives, so no, they're allowed to. We're not allowed to, Dean. We live under the New Testament. Like I said, I'm not going to say it again. We live under the New Covenant.
Can you repeat the point that I'm making to you?
You don't believe Jesus died on the cross for our sins?
Can you repeat the point that I'm making to you?
Do you believe that Jesus Christ
Can you repeat the point that I've made to you?
Do you believe that Jesus
Can you repeat the point that I've made to you?
No, because you lost.
So you can't repeat the point that I made to you? So I said that it said slave.
You said that it said wife, liar.
I said that it said slave, liar.
If you're going to lie, Dean, I'm just going to drop.
I know you're going to drop. Feel free to run away. It's like, of course you're going to drop. Not only are you losing the debate because you can't keep up with a man 3 times as intelligent as you, but you're also losing the debate. Oh, I know. Crash out.
That has nothing.
Cry. Hey, doesn't Mark say to turn the other cheek? You're being oddly aggressive for a true Christian that should be turning the other cheek right now. You're supposed to love thy neighbor. You're supposed to love me and turn the other cheek. So why don't you sit down, shut up, ask for repentance, and turn that other cheek?
Once you make me, Dean.
Oh, I'm sorry. God's making you. He compels you via the religious scripture of the Bible. Why don't you make me actually care about my religious scripture, Dean? Make me actually follow in accordance with Jesus's moral commandments.
You're embarrassed because you lost.
Okay, just because you say something doesn't make it true. Thank you.
You said that it said wife.
I said that it said slave. I'm sorry. I know that you're stupid and you can't keep up.
You're a liar.
The only liar here is you. Keep on
You don't
crying.
even believe in the New Testament.
It's
You don't
fine. You can
believe in
cry
the
all
New
you want,
Testament.
Joseph. You can cry all you want,
even know
Joseph.
what
You can
covenant
cry all
we're
you
under.
want. You don't even
don't
know what
what
argument I
covenant we're
gave
under.
you. You don't even
covenant
know
are
what
we under?
argument I gave you.
What covenant
You
are
don't
we
even
under,
know
Dean?
the argument I gave you.
What covenant are we
You don't
under,
even know
Dean?
the argument I gave you. I asked
You
you
didn't
to
give me
repeat
an
the
argument. You
argument.
gave me a wrong response, and you
so
said it
check
said
this
it in the
out.
Bible,
I'll
and it
give you
didn't.
the argument again. So listen very closely this time. If you interrupt me, you're exposing to every person watching this live stream that you don't know shit and you're a dumbass little dude with no education, a whole bunch of bigotry and prejudice.
I went to
Because as soon as I start
jackass.
frying your ass, you're gonna stop. You're gonna hop in
You're
here
a
and start
jackass. You
interrupting me
couldn't
and
get
prevent
one
me from
question
speaking
right with the
like
cover
you
over your
are right
Not one
now.
question.
So,
Not one
anyways, I want you to listen. Come on,
Not
what happened to
one question.
listening? I mean, he won't even let me speak. He knows he's
can't
cooked.
learn
He won't even let me
nothing from you
speak.
that I can't learn from
He's
my
so
phone,
cooked.
Dean.
He won't even let me speak.
I can't
This is
learn
crazy.
nothing from you. I
Yes,
can't
yes.
learn from
What
my
you're doing
phone.
is you're kamikazing the debate. You're torpedoing the dialogue because if you know you let me
that's all you
speak,
do, Dean.
that
That's
you'll
all
be
you do to
cooked.
people.
Says the
That's all
person
you
who's
do to people,
interrupting
'cause that's
me
what would
while
happen
I'm
to you.
trying to repeat the argument. You're kamikazing the debate.
That's all you do to people. My wife wouldn't even
Projection.
come up here
You're
and
doing
debate
it
you. You
right
know why?
now. What a
Because of
massive
how you act
projection,
like a little
Joseph.
child.
You are
Smart
says the
people don't
person
really come up here a
torpedoing
lot.
the debate, preventing me from repeating my argument that you didn't track. And you're gonna do it
You're
again.
just slow, dude. You said
Look at this guy. Look at this
said
guy.
white.
He can't stop
And you turned
torpedoing
it
the
into
debate.
something-
Listen, Joseph,
turned it
you
into
need
something
to get a hold of yourself. You need to stop
to get a hold of
crying and
yourself,
lashing
Dan.
out like a toddler
You're just
and stop
embarrassed and you're not
torpedoing the
used to being
debate.
so
Says
embarrassed
the
on
guy
your own
that won't
show.
let me speak. Says the guy that won't let me speak. You're up here saying, "Oh, Dean, you're embarrassed. Oh, Dean, you've lost the debate. Oh, Dean, I'm destroying you. Oh, Dean,
It
I'm
sounds like
grilling
you're
you."
talking
But I
plenty.
can't even give you an argument. You won't let me speak. Sit down. Shut
been
up, old
speaking for the
man.
last 30 minutes.
I
You shut
understand
up.
that you lash out on everybody in your life like this. Probably your wife has seen very similar attitudes to the one you're showing right now.
Hey,
but turn
you know
the
what?
page
Your
and try to be a better
girlfriend's a little
person.
hoe bag. How
So,
about that? You like
oh,
that?
I know. Yeah. Ultimately,
Yeah,
go to
yeah,
shitting
yeah.
on
You
women.
like that?
Yeah,
You like
yeah.
that?
The moment I
How
expose
many
you
dudes
for
have
the
you
man
been
you
with,
are,
Dean?
you just start
Hey,
shitting on
it's
women.
with you.
I know it.
Who else
I know
would
it.
you
That's
be?
what you do.
Look at you.
The good
Look at
Christian,
you.
by the way.
Look
The
at
good
you.
Christian, by the way. I'm going to
About
give you exactly
entitled
5
white kid.
seconds to get
Entitled
your
white
ego
kid.
in check
You are the
before
most
I kick
entitled
you and
white
move
kid
on to the
on
next
TikTok.
little child.
You're a baby.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good boy.
You can count. Good
Okay,
for you,
and
dude.
then he goes. So, guys, that's what they want to do. They want to torpedo the debate, and they want to prevent dialogue because they know if they stop and allow for dialogue to unfold, it won't work out in their favor. It is unfortunate that this is the way MAGA is. A lot of them, like that last guest, are parasites. They are parasites on rationale. They are parasites of critical thought. They are parasites on productive dialogue. If you don't allow them to just expunge their atrocities, if you don't allow them to say all Muslims suck and they're all terrible people because of their religious scripture, and instead you check their argument and you tell them why they're wrong like I did to that guy, well, then all of a sudden they just become like these near like subhuman buzzers who will just do anything and everything they can to fill your ears with nonsense, kamikaze the productive dialogue, and prevent any further construction, pointing and gearing towards the conclusion that maybe they're wrong about what they believe in and why. Let's collectively pray to that guy. Pray for that guy. You know, if there's any good Christians in here, if you want to pray for anybody, pray for that guy because clearly he needs it. Welcome, Indy Sport Trump. Hello? Hi, you seem like you're about 5 light years away from your mic. Please disconnect any Bluetooth devices you have plugged into your phone. Hello. You still sound about 5 years away. Make sure that your phone is in your hand and your Bluetooth is off. Maybe she's just on the new Trump phone? Did you get the new Trump phone, Amber? I'm going to have to kick you, Amber. When you could figure that out, I'll happily have you back up. Let's go to get that next guest connected to the live stream right now. T-Study, appreciate you so much for the $20 on Super Chat, who says, ... even pan back to check if the caller was maybe heard Dean's claim it was about a wife. No. Dean said parallels to slaves. Caller was on the topic of wife, and that's all he heard. Here's $20 for suffering that caller. Holy moly. Thank you for the $20, T. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Show some love to T down below. Yeah, that guy, he needs a timeout. He's clearly lost his mind. Noble 6, do you support Trump?
No, man. I just wanted to join and say you're an...
I appreciate you, Noble 6. Tonight we are just looking for Trump supporters, but I hope you take care. Mary with the $10 says, funny how these quote-unquote good Christians turn to violence when they hear things they don't like. Every time, bro. They're so fucking predictable. Reverend, I appreciate you for the $20 over on Super Chat, who says, as I pointed out the other day, a literal interpretation of the Bible allows men to force virgin girls into marriage. Deuteronomy 21:10-14. This verse, if taken literally, would make God a monster. You did point that out the other day, Reverend. I remember that. And that's the point. There is a fundamentalist interpretation of all religious scriptures that are very evil, very terrible. So let's condemn Christian fundamentalists. Let's condemn Islamic fundamentalists. Let's condemn Jewish fundamentalists. And let's uplift benevolent Christians. Let's uplift benevolent Muslims. And let's uplift benevolent Jewish individuals. The holy wars of my religion is perfect, yours is of the devil, are just really, really terrible. And I feel like nobody gets the point that I'm trying to make here. Like, somebody in the chat just said Deuteronomy is literally Old Testament. It's been abolished. Do you guys fucking listen at all to that commenter? Have you listened to a thing I've said? That's the point. You have an interpretation of the Christian Bible that leads to the conclusion that it's not okay to rape virgin girls. That's kind of the point, dude. Oh my God. Let's go to get that next guest connected. I'm losing my mind. Let's go to get them connected to the live stream right now. We got TaylorMade loading up in. Losing my mind. If you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, my Linktree, my bio, and TikTok. Pin message on that other place. And that's at the top of the phone screen. Give me one moment, man. Sam, thank you for the $20, who says, always love the streams and your advocacy for critical thought. You moved your piano. Have you been practicing? I sure have been practicing. I've been having a lot of fun on it. Thank you for the $20, Sam. Let's get 200 Sam W's. TaylorMade, I heard you say you're Maggie. You look like an adult. Why do you support the worst president of your life?
Yo, Dan, because this world was founded on Christianity, brother.
Okay.
That's one of my reasons.
Okay, well,
God, we trust. Get a big fat dollar bill and look at it, and what does it say on it? In God we trust. Brother.
So the Christian God is true, therefore Trump should be president?
You should know this. Hold on. You should know this, bro.
I'm just not sure the Christian God existing entails the conclusion that Trump should be president.
Man, bro. You're like Bruce Banner, bro. You got a lot of money, but you look like Tom Holland off of Spider-Man. But anyways, come on, bro.
Okay.
Let's do this.
So I'm not sure that the claim that the Christian God is true necessarily entails the conclusion that Trump is a good president. I'd say that the policy from the left is significantly more so in alignment with the Christian worldview than the right. Jesus says to love thy neighbor. In Mark, it is said that the way that you treat those with lesser than you, or the way in which you're treating the Lord your God. Donald Trump says, let's go ahead and illegally end food stamps for 12 million starving children. Let's go ahead and take healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans when we already have 51,000 die every single year via lack of access to healthcare. Donald Trump says, let's take food stamps away from 3 million people. The 10 Commandments say, thou shalt not lie. Donald Trump told over 30,000. Thou shalt not cheat on your wife. Essentially, Trump has cheated on all three. And meanwhile, when we look at the Democratic policy...
Dan, you never cheated?
I've never cheated.
You got all these followers and you never cheated?
Yes.
Come on, dude. I know you get bad girls in here every time, bro. Stop playing, Dean. You're not perfect, bro.
What you're telling me is if that you were in my position, you would, because of the attention that you would get on the internet, you would cheat on your partner.
So how do you deal with it then, brother?
That's pretty bad.
Dan, you're that guy. I'm not gonna even hate you, bro. Like you're that guy.
That's really bad, dude. That's really bad to say. How do I deal with it? No, I don't. Just ignore it.
All right, bro. You're that guy, though. Anyways, so okay, yeah, Trump, he did all this stuff, but it happens, bro. It's life. Like I'm not perfect, bro. I mess up every day, bro.
Yeah, but my point is that he's committed grave sins worse than that of maybe his opponent Harris, like raping Eugene Carroll or boasting about the sexual exploitation of the naked women and girls at the beauty pageants that he owned. And the policy of the left is significantly closer in alignment with Christian values, like taking care of those with less than you. That's why Kamala Harris ran on tax cuts for the working class and better social safety nets for low-income Americans. And Donald Trump is implementing tax hikes for the working class and taking social safety nets away from low-income Americans.
Okay, dude, we need a better policy where we pay more taxes to help the people out, because it's like the rich people are paying all the taxes, but like nobody else is paying taxes. So what can we do about it? As Trump's trying to help this, he's trying to stop this. What are we talking about, Dean?
Can you repeat that bullshit? Brother. I'm not sure I've followed anything you just said.
Just listen, Dan, please. Stop.
Okay.
Come on, man. So the rich people are paying all the taxes, and the middle class people are not. So that's why we have to take away.
That's not true,
stamps, bro.
So that's not true at all.
How's that not true?
Well, in fact, the average American has a higher effective tax rate than the average top 1%er. I know that a lot of people on the right like to point out that the top 3% of income earners pay like over or close to 50% of taxes. And then you say, oh, that just means that they're disproportionately paying way too much. Until you consider that the top 3% of income earners own and holds 85% of all wealth. Right? So they're actually disproportionately paying less than they should in consideration to the wealth that they hold.
You got me, bro. I'll think of something some other day. Appreciate you. You're the GOAT, though.
Okay. You take care, Sailor. Okay. I know that guy's actually a Trump supporter. He's been tuning into these live streams for years. Me and Parker used to debate him on like other non-political subjects way back when. He's calmed down a bit. He used to be really annoying. Let's go to get the next guest loaded up into the box. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. If you want to support me, folks, if you want to support the live stream, you could find the Venmo and the PayPal and the link tree in the bio on TikTok. Pin message on that other place, and the @'s right there. Dean Withers without the E. Withers.
We are Dean Withers.
Goodbye. Best way to ask a question to get a message across. Certainly the very best way to support the stream. Very appreciative for you guys. Thank you so much for the continued love and support. I swear these assholes are chipping away at me every day. They're chipping away at me.
Yo, what's good, Dean?
Hi, do you support Trump?
Yeah, I support him.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
What year were you born in?
2007.
I don't know how you still support him, man. He's terrible. Tell us how.
What do you mean, bro? I love the border policy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Which ones? Which border policy? Tell me.
You know, I just like securing their border, you know?
Yeah, could you point me towards the specific border policy? So, like, a policy would be a bill passed through Congress, signed into law by the president, or an executive order signed into effect. So, what EO are we looking at? What bill are we looking at? Could you tell me? Could you be specific?
Well, how about... hold on. Let me direct it away real quick. Just one thing.
I think this guy's trolling.
I'm not trolling, bro. What you want? Come on.
Yeah, he's trolling. Listen, guys, I'm trying my best to find a Trump supporter. Do be patient. Do bear with us. Hopefully, we'll be able to find one here in a moment. As you can tell, I've really lost my energy. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan, how old are you?
I'm 29.
Nice, Ryan. Joe, thank you for the $15 donation on Venmo, who says somebody once said that Trump is exactly like a Christian televangelist, a liar and a grifter, and that's why Christians love him, and I've never heard something more true. I appreciate you so much for the $15. He is a lot like Christian televangelists. Christian televangelists are terrible. Oh my goodness, I hate them. And then Sadie, thank you for the $10. I appreciate you so very much. Show some love to Sadie down below. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Go ahead and take it away, man. Tell us why the hell you support Dozy Don, the worst president of your 24 years of life.
Well, 24 years, 29. But
29 years of life.
Yeah, 29. I'm old. But I'm really liking what's going on here in Iran.
Oh God, why? I mean, it's a needless war of choice. We are in a worse position with Iran's enrichment of uranium today than we were 10 years ago because of Trump. It has killed kids, and it has exploded the prices of everything across the globe.
I mean, but it taking into consideration that Iran was how many days away from creating a nuclear bomb?
Well, apparently it's been 3 days away for the last 30 years. if you ask
you're right.
Netanyahu.
Yeah, you're right. So, do you support Netanyahu at all?
Yeah, I love the Big Netty.
All right, good. Cause
shut the fuck up. No, he's a war criminal.
No.
He's a war criminal. He's terrible.
I'll be real. No, I used to be. I was a three-time voter for Trump. Changed my opinion after this whole Iran bullshit because I can't stand to see it.
Well, I think it's cool that you've changed your mind, Ryan. Love to see it. And we're gonna move on to the next guest. Somebody in the comment section said it's the Big Yahoo, not the Big Netty. No, I feel like the Big Netty is like original. You know, it's creative. Something new.
Yo, how's it going, bro? How you doing?
Age?
17.
Thanks for being honest. Honestly, I feel like you're still probably aligned. You got to be at least 18 to join, folks. You got to be at least 18 to join. We're going to move on to the next guest. We got Raven Shadow 22 connecting to the live stream.
Hi, Dean. I just wanted to say that my mother's entire side of the family has. And real quick, I wanted to thank you for converting my mother into differing opinions. She actually has changed her opinion on that, and I just wanted to thank you really quick for that. She's
Wow. Hey, well, thank you. That is very kind of you. That's awesome that I was able to change your mom's mind. Tonight we are just looking for Trump supporters, so that is why I removed you, but I do appreciate you. For everybody in the queue, please do follow the rules. I would really appreciate it if you guys could do your very best. Just mind the rules. Hey, do you support Trump?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a very small child. Brian, thank you for the $20 dono over on PayPal. Let's get 200 Brian W's down below in that comment section. I really appreciate you so much, Brian, with the $20, who says, anyone who says, quote unquote, you've never won a debate, and there have been a few, are permanently living in their own made-up worlds. I really appreciate you so much for the $20, Brian. That is very, very kind of you. Thank you so much for the love and support, man. And I'm pretty sure that while I was thanking Brian for the Brian for the donation, we had somebody join up and show a picture of a mutilated dead body of a black child, and then they said "dead" in word baby. I'm sorry for anybody that saw that. I got them out pretty quick though. That's the right. That is the right, guys.
Hey.
That's MAGA. That's MAGA. That's MAGA. Somebody in the chat said it didn't show. Good.
Oh, I see.
Good. Somebody in the chat said it didn't show. I got them out quick enough. It showed? Okay. All right. Yeah, that's MAGA, folks. I'm sorry you guys had to see that. MAGA is disgusting. They are violent. They are barbarians. Cobra, do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
19.
What year are you born in?
06.
Okay, and why do you support Trump?
Okay, so here's a set of reasons, and is it fine if I talk about a personal situation that happened to me personally, or
yeah? I just want to know why you support Trump as president.
I was born and raised in Chicago, which is pretty democratic, and our mayor Brandon Johnson. Crime in Chicago has been really high, and Trump wants us in the National Guard and everything. I want to talk about this 19-year-old from the university. She went to Loyola University, and she was with her friends walking at nighttime, and then an undocumented immigrant who was bought and released. He robbed from a store. He got arrested for robbery, and then they released him. And they knew he was illegal, and they let him back on the street, and she got unalived. She was walking with her friends, minding her business, Dean. And it's just sad to see how our mayor, Brandon Johnson, is just a complete Democratic narrative hoax. And the majority
I find that pretty hard to believe that they arrest somebody for a crime and they don't charge them with it, because arresting somebody for a crime is the first step. Can you give me a source?
He got arrested, but why didn't they deport him? They knew he was illegal. After he got arrested, why didn't they deport him, Dean? Answer the question. Can you give me a source,
please?
The Loyola student, look her up. Her name is, I can give you her name.
Wait, so are you saying that he was arrested for robbery, found guilty of robbery, then served his time, and then he was released?
Yes.
Oh.
But he was illegal,
Okay.
Dean. He was they should have.
Undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes on American soil than natural U.S.-born citizens. And what you're specifically talking about would be like sanctuary cities that won't deport people.
Yes,
I do agree that people who are arrested for and found guilty of like bad crimes like robbery should be deported after their sentence is up. I do agree with that. But still, in these sanctuary cities, undocumented immigrants don't have any impact on the crime rates. If anything, they bring them down. You can find that on the bibliography on Parker Get a Jobs bio. No, it is.
Okay. I know what you're saying.
A study conducted to prove that specifically for sanctuary cities like Chicago, it is true.
Yes, but Dean, I would rather be safe than sorry, Dean. We need to deport every single undocumented immigrant in the city of Chicago. We need to send the National Guard. Do you know what a teen takeover is, sir? People break in on cars.
Then why don't we just deport citizens? Like, if we had the ability,
can I talk?
If we had the legal ability to deport citizens, would you be on board with that? Because you'd rather be safe than sorry, and citizens have a higher propensity to commit violent crimes.
Well, here's what I would do. There's middle-aged black kids jumping on cars, breaking windows. I can show you the clip in Chicago and Heidi Park. They're breaking into cars. If you were living in your complex and a kid broke into your car and started jumping on a dude, making TikTok videos of it, do you think they should be arrested and their parents should be held accountable? Answer the question.
What is your race?
I am black. I can literally show you. And even if I wasn't, it's true. It's true, though. I don't hate my people. I just think we need to reform as my people. I don't hate my people. I just think that we're acting stupid right now because of what we're being.
Ooh, I'm black and black people are violent. Oh my goodness.
I'm not saying they are, but they're making us seem like.
Listen, not only are you wrong, okay.
I'm not wrong. I'm not
it's
wrong.
Just so it's so dangerous because, listen, when black people say that we need great reform in the criminal justice system because of systemic racism, when black people say that systemic racism exists, point blank period, right, they are never listened to by people on the right. But then when the needle in the haystack says black people are violent and I'm black, so I have like some authority to speak on the issue, all of a sudden everybody on the right listens. It's pretty gross. But no, you're actually wrong. So I mean, a common argument that black people are like more violent is that, well, 14% of the population accounts for 55% of the crimes. Well, actually, that stat goes down when we also consider that 14% of the population, black people, account for 84% of all exonerations, meaning that they are falsely arrested for crimes in many circumstances, significantly more than any other group of people in America. And the fact that disproportionately black neighborhoods are over-policed to begin with. So even if, in consideration of the exoneration statistic, they were still more likely to get arrested for crimes, we would attribute some of that to over-policing of predominantly black neighborhoods. And attribute another part of that to the fact that, well, the average income of the average white American is higher than that of the average black American because of systemic racism and slavery and its aftermath. And we know that poverty is a cause for crime. So for you to sit here and just reduce that all down to saying black people are violent is
excuse me, why are you changing my words? It's not. So, Dean, so you
said that you like have an issue with your own people to do with the bad.
No, I'm just saying everyone has their own issue. So you're saying this is not violent, Dean? This is not violent? And I can show you a clip when they're breaking into cars. And
I'm not even sure what you're showing me.
Look, Dean,
are you just all I see is a group of cops running around?
Yes.
Are you saying that you're showing me a video of like a black person committing a bad crime? Is that what you're showing me?
No, when I'm trying to show you that these kids are breaking into cars, I see the TikTok
videos. So that is what you're showing me. You're showing me a video of like a black person committing a crime.
Their parents should be held.
Okay, yeah. So in the same way that we could point out videos of black people committing crimes, we could point out videos of any demographic of people committing crimes, because all demographics have a crime rate. Like, this is just some dumb bullshit. You're saying if I could identify one circumstance of a black person committing a crime caught on camera, therefore Dean is wrong by suggesting
of course you're wrong because you're not black. You don't understand how it is to be black. You shouldn't be talking about how I feel personally as a black American. First off, I don't hate my people.
I'm sorry. I just know I'm not wrong about this, and I'm not scared to talk about the truth.
Excuse me.
So I mean, if you want to tell me why I'm wrong, feel free to.
You are.
But I'm not scared to talk about the truth.
Okay, first off, I never said I hated my people, so please do not put things in my mouth. I said that our people do dumb stuff. Every people have said that. You said, I mean, I'm sure you think that white people have done some crazy stuff, especially Trump. I'm just saying some of us do stupid things, and that's why the white people think the same way they think of us. Is because we act stupid. I'm not saying all black people do, but just saying
white people aren't racist because quote unquote black people act stupid. White people are racist because racism was invented as a social construct to justify chattel slavery, in which then led to the creation of a system of the black man existing as a subclass of,
I'm saying some.
A human closer to the beast of the wild. In comparison and contrast to the divinity and the creation of the white man. Per
You're using
racist Christian evangelical narratives. You are being so insufferable. Clearly, I'm not using ChatGPT. And my evidence that I'm not using ChatGPT is I didn't take 3 minutes to write down and type in everything that you'd said into a prompt on my keyboard and then wait for it to generate a response to then reiterate. So can you stop being insanely insufferable and just allow me the chance to respond to your nonsense?
Yes, sir.
You're saying that white people are racist because black people are dumb.
No,
nope.
What I
is the
said,
stupidest thing I've heard all day. Oh, you're going to interrupt me. Okay, whatever. Dude, holy fucking shit. What do you have to say? What do you want to say, dude?
Okay, what I said, I never said they're dumb. I'm just saying, look at Chicago. Look how torn Chicago is. While we have these illegal aliens coming in from Mexico, Nicaragua, Spain. They're coming from these countries and they're destroying sanctuary
you specifically made a claim that white people are racist because black people do dumb things sometimes.
Well, they do. Every race is dumb.
Okay, so that is your fucking claim, right? That is your fucking claim, right?
But Dean, I'm trying to say is that we are being destroyed.
No, I just want to clarify. Is that your claim?
Black Democrats are dumb. That's what I'm saying. Black Democrats are controlled by
the Democrats. White people are racist because of black Democrats, right?
Black Democrats hate black people because Democrats have ruined the black community. Did you see Joe Biden said the N-word? He used to be racist.
Honestly, I'm just gonna kick you. Do you affirm or deny the claim that white people are racist?
Yes, I deny.
Even though you just made it less than 2 minutes ago, right? Oh my God. Jesus fucking Christ. All over the place. All over the place. That's another tactic that many of the guests will use. Many of the guests will use is they will just attempt to overwhelm me with 5 trillion different points at the same time. And then whenever I want to address one of their 5 trillion points, they'll just claim that they never made that point. Insanity. Let's go to get the next guest haven connecting to the box. Oh my God. I'm gonna shoot.
I was just gonna sing the song. Keep it up, Dean. You can kick me, bro.
Okay, man. I'm gonna reach out to Parker, see if he wants to join. I kind of need to use the restroom. All right, let's go to get the next guest connected. And hello, welcome in the Frankster. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, because he's a neo-libertarian phalangist.
Little baby. Goodbye, little baby. Moving on to the next guest, folks. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump. I'd appreciate it. Abby, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo. Says, why do MAGA mouth breathers sound like they're telling a scary campfire story when they rattle off political conspiracy theories? I appreciate you so much for the $15, Abby. Yeah, I'm really tired out with these shitheads for the day. I'm surprised I'm honestly still on. Charlene, Charlene, thank you for the $20 donation on Venmo. Says, wow, I'm a black woman and I still can't believe you came up and said all that shit. Dude, it was fucking disgusting. I appreciate you for the $20, Charlene. 200 Charlene W's down below in that comment section. I really appreciate you. Same thing to you, Jesse. Thank you for the $20, who says, I just finished working on my car with no progress and was glad I could join your stream to chill out afterwards. Thank you for all that you do, Dean. Sorry to hear that you're not finding good progress with working on your car. I know how frustrating that is. But hopefully, the stream will help you cool off. Thank you for the $20, dude. Same thing to you, Andrew. Thank you for the $15, who says, Penny, for your thoughts. Is there any Trump-approved/supported legislation you'd agree with? I thought that Operation Warp Speed was pretty good. I thought that one bill to prevent AI porn of women from being publicly released, making that criminal, was also pretty good. Joe, thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate you. And then Mary, thank you for the $5 as well. Hey man, do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
How old are you?
18. I was born March 8th, 2006.
Okay, you really suck at math, man.
What do you mean?
You be 20.
Oh, shit. I failed now.
Yeah. I know, I could tell. Let's move on to the next guest, the weatherman.
I don't know who he is either. I don't know how you guys are.
Hello, the weatherman. Do you support Trump?
Who? Which one?
The weatherman seems a little bit preoccupied, honestly. Sounded like he was in an arcade or something. Parker will hopefully be joining the stream in around the next 13 or so minutes, folks. That'll be great. I'm going to use that as an opportunity to just kind of chill out. Let's take a sit back for a moment and go use a restroom. So expect that here soon. Isabella, do you support Trump? Okay, apparently Isabella's not here. We're going to move on to the next guest now. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump. We'll put the rules back up in the middle of the phone screen, folks. We're going to go to put the rules back up in the middle of the phone screen, everyone. Here's Grasshopper. Brianna, thank you for the $2 dono on Venmo. Very kind of you. Thank you. City Grasshopper, do you support Trump?
What's a neo-libertarian?
Don't worry about it. Do you support Trump?
No, I'm wondering because I heard a TikTok about
a neo-libertarian flangus is just is nothing. It's just, seriously, don't worry about it. It's just gibberish.
Oh my god, I'm joining. Hey,
Hi,
you can
Jackson.
hear me, right?
Yeah, I can. Do you support Trump?
I do support Trump, yes.
Yeah, how old are you?
I am 19, so.
Okay, and what year were you born in?
07, January 13th.
And why do you support Trump?
Well, I mean, I look at the stuff and I look at the information, and maybe you can change my view set, but I look at the information. I firmly believe that I think, well, I'll admit Trump's an asshole of a person. I think he's a good president and doing good things for America.
Okay, like what?
Well, you look at the stuff with Iran. I think he's doing a great job there. I think
Why?
Because he's helping our troops. I mean, you look at the missile crisis, not the missile crisis. He's getting rid of the nuclear war, not the nuclear missiles in the arsenal and all of that. I really support that.
Okay.
Can you
any other reasons why you support Trump?
He's Republican and I'm Republican, if that counts for anything.
Okay.
And the law
else?
too. I think the fact that you can keep out immigrants and save those jobs for American citizens, I think is very important. I think having legal immigrants is important. And to my knowledge, I don't think he's taking away from legal immigrants. I think he's helping to support them. But the fact that you're taking away illegals, ones that are killing the kids, raping the women, all that stuff, I truly support that. If you can do anything to change my perspective, though, I'm all ears and I'll listen to everything.
Yeah, what a fucking mess. Okay, so you said that you support his war in Iran because he's helping to get rid of Iran's nukes. So our DNI, Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, testified to the fact that they've never had nukes, and they actually haven't even started on rebuilding their nuclear program since last summer's strikes, and that the imminent nuclear threat that Donald Trump claimed when starting this war was bullshit. Not to mention that Iran would not even be working on building nukes today if it wasn't for Trump, who pulled us out of an agreement that we had with Iran called the JCPOA, and which prevented them from building nuclear weapons. So he's kind of responsible for Iran's nuclear ambitions. Your second claim was that he is Republican and you're Republican. We shouldn't really care about people's political affiliations. We should care about people's policy. Your third claim was border wall. Well, I mean, actually, the Biden-Harris administration tried to build more of the border wall built by Donald Trump in his first term with a bipartisan border bill, and Trump shot it down. I don't think he really cares too much about that wall. It's more so just screen grab, a nice, clip for airtime on social media or TV. Then your last point was, your second and last point was mass deportation saves jobs for American citizens. Yeah, you're wrong. Mass deportation reduces economic productivity. And that's why in the last year, we've seen the most undocumented immigrants deported in 365 days, 1.2 million. But we've also seen the worst jobs reported in 20 years ignoring recessions. And then your last claim is that illegals are killing kids and raping women. So I'm so sorry. The only rapist I could think of is Trump, the man that you made president. A unanimous jury of 9 agreed. And undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes like rape or murder than the average U.S. citizen. So your fear-mongering tactics by generalizing them as rapist murderers is not only false, but also harmful.
Okay. What do you think Kamala Harris, because she was the nominee, what do you think she would have done different if she was elected? And what do you think the 2028 nominee would do different from, I'm assuming JD Vance would get the nomination. What do you think they would do differently?
I really appreciate your question, but before I answer your question, I'd appreciate it if you address what I just said, because I gave you the opportunity to give me as many reasons as you like to, insofar as why you think that Donald Trump is a good president, and then I addressed them one by one. I would really appreciate it if you would address what I just said.
About your reasons?
No, not about my reasons, about my counter-arguments to your reasons. Remember, your reasons were that you support Trump's war in Iran because it's getting rid of Iran's nukes. He's a Republican, his border wall, that mass deportation saves jobs for American citizens, and that illegals are killing the kids and raping women. Those are the points that I responded to and debunked.
He eliminated the potential for Iran to have a nuclear arsenal.
No, he created the potential for Iran to have a nuclear arsenal,
and I think
pulling us out of the JCPOA.
And that's where we disagree.
Okay, do you even know what the JCPOA is?
Yo, search up the JCPOA.
Okay, it's fine if you don't. I'll tell you. It was a denuclearization agreement that Obama negotiated with Iran that prevented them from building nukes. Donald Trump, when he won the 2016 election, tore it up and pulled us out of it because it had Obama's signature on it. And then they started to build nukes.
And then the thing, okay. So you're saying Iran built nukes because Trump pulled out of the JCPOA, and that's 1,000% the truth? Like, yeah, that's why.
Because they were no longer bound by any agreement to not build nukes. So of course they'd start attempting to enrich uranium. Of course. If I would too if I was in their shoes.
Whoa. Okay. And then, so what'd you say? The Republican, because he's a Republican. I think that you can take that as whatever. That's my voting policy. That's my voting lines. As of now, I'm not saying that's gonna not change downstream. I think that's why I'm here talking to you. And then. I'm with my friend. He also brought up a good point. He said Trump raised the worth of gold. What would you say to that? But I can finish talking about the other arguments if you want me to.
Well, I mean, I would just say that you have no reason to believe that, not to mention that the price of gold year to date has only increased by like 3%. I understand it had pretty massive gains in 2025, but I don't think that you'd be able to attribute those to Trump either.
What? And then you look at the job, infrastructure, whatever you want to say. By Trump building the walls, limiting illegal immigration, he is helping the American citizen with the jobs.
It's surprisingly false. Listen, you could have your reasons to support mass deportation, and I could debunk them, but inevitably, it's a fact that undocumented immigrants help the economy and create more jobs by inspiring our markets to be more productive, because they provide additional labor to our employers to then increase their productive capacities to produce more goods and sell more services. Meanwhile, they also create additional demand to buy those goods and those services from those companies. So that's why when you remove them, there's less jobs, because the economy as a whole is less productive.
So you're saying that undocumented workers are helping the U.S. economy, and
yes,
when
very much
they
so.
should. Poog, thank you for the galaxy. I feel like they're taking away jobs from American citizens.
Jobs aren't a charity, dude. It's not like you work a job because companies offer jobs because they think that employee will generate them an ROI and grow their company. So when we have 8.3 million undocumented immigrants working jobs at American firms, This just means that American firms are growing faster because they're generating an ROI off of them. And it means that all of a sudden we have 8.3 million undocumented immigrants with a bunch of money that they're going to turn around and spend on those same American firms. The American Immigration Council tells us that they contribute $1.1 through $1.7 trillion to the GDP annually, and they pay over $100 billion in taxes. So if you forcefully expel all of those laborers and consumers, you are destined to destabilize the market and not promote nor produce a better economy for jobs. My evidence is the last year and a half of the Trump administration. We have seen terrible jobs reports.
Okay. And I have, okay, but, okay, what do you think, like, the whole thing is, okay, I still support Trump, whatever. What, like, why? I want you to tell me kind of, if Kamala were sitting in office, what would she do, what would she do differently that should make me support her or make me support the next Democratic nominee in the future? Because that's kind of like...
I'm going to run to the restroom. We got Parker on the stream. Parker, I'm sure that you have an answer to that question.
Yep.
All right, I'll be right back, guys.
I'm talking with Parker. We'll be back.
Yeah. So Jack, Democrats advocate to extend all the tax cuts applicable to income earners under $400,000 a year, and only want to increase taxes on income earners over $400,000 a year in order to be able to decrease the federal deficit and address the needs for the American people. We want to expand access to healthcare through a universal healthcare model, which other countries around the world have adopted, which they spend nearly half as much per individual as we do here in this country in terms of healthcare expenditure, and yet they have better average health outcomes. So it can help us reduce costs and provide better care for people as well. So that's what I would say is the best set of conditions we could do for is vote for Democrats, because they're going to actually fight for what's right for the average American rather than like the just typical rich person in the country.
But I feel like Republicans are not fighting for only the rich people. I feel like they're fighting for every for a lot of American citizens, and I feel like Democrats only tailor to a certain group of people. I mean, if you could change my perspective and go for it, like I'm like, no.
Can I ask you a question? Can you name one Republican policy that's benefited the average American more than it's benefited the rich?
Yeah, the walls. The whatever the border wall policy is, I think it helped the job market for an average American citizen.
Well, the wall isn't just like a unique individual policy. Plus, only 3.7% was built of the wall, less than 22% refurbishment of the wall. Plus, Trump now claims the border is secure without there being a fully built wall. So I don't know what the argument is there. Plus, again, like I wouldn't say that benefited mostly the average American. Immigration is actually very beneficial to the economy. It reduced the federal deficit by $14.5 trillion over the last 30 years. It's increased the wages for natural-born U.S. citizens and even increased employment rates for natural-born U.S. citizens as well, according to a National Bureau of Economic Research study.
Okay. I got one more thing for Dean, and then I'll head out. I do appreciate you guys talking to me and just kind of like whatever. My friend gave me this. He said, this is weird. Something about Jeff Teague saying he would slap you. He asked what your thoughts on that are. That's my friend. I don't know what you have on that. Turn your.
Do you want to continue the debate, or are you done?
I mean, I have really nothing else to say, but I do appreciate you guys talking to me. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Parker, welcome in. How you doing?
Good. How you feeling today?
Oh man, I feel like shit. I feel like shit, but I'm gonna keep it pushing. I am gonna keep it pushing. I don't know why I woke up today feeling so terribly. I hope it's like nothing serious. Yeah,
I hope you're fine, bro. Make sure to get some sleep tonight. Sleep in.
Yeah, that's the goal. Is just to get a shit ton of sleep tonight and see how I'm feeling.
I don't know if you want to do it or you want me to do it.
Hi, Lab Girl 10. Do you support Trump?
Halloween, but
Lab Girl 10. Lab Girl 10 is not here, so we're gonna go kick him out. Only opposite of that queue, if you happen to be MAGA, please and thank you. Somebody said that it might have been like altitude sickness that I'm experiencing by going up and down so fast, but I think that's unlikely. It could be from camping. That was a thought I had. I don't know, man. I've just been feeling like shit. Let's go to get the next guest, Josh Cook, connecting to the stream. Over on Super Chat, thank you, Velo Falls, for the $20. Thank you so much, Falls. Let's get to it, or Falls W's. Falls with a 20 says, hey, Dean, thank you, man. My friend Darius and I watch your streams all the time and make fun of the Trump chuds. He got you to wish me a happy birthday on December 23rd. We've been struggling. Give my music on YT a shout-out. From Dakota. Well, Dakota, I appreciate you so much for the $20. If you want, I could take a look at it. I mean, I only consider giving it a shout out if I thought it was good. Golden State, thank you for the $10. I appreciate you so much, Golden State. Show some love to Golden down below. Josh, do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't actually think that Christ is king then, right?
No, I do.
Well, I just don't think that you could simultaneously be a Christian and support Trump. I think that he's very, very opposed to the Christian worldview, regardless if it's because he depicts himself as God or runs on an ungodly agenda of the tyranny of the low and middle class, division from others, not loving thy neighbor. I mean, I think it's clear that if Jesus was alive today, he certainly wouldn't support Trump.
I actually have a few things. I'm used to the whole question of if there were an election held today, Harris for Harris. I watch your streams all the time. I actually really enjoy them because even people who are on my side, I hear you debate them, and I think you win a lot of them because a lot of people on our side, unfortunately, don't have any intellectual knowledge to what they're talking about, and it's really hard to debate people that don't actually even know what their own side believes. But one thing I wanted to say before we started is that I'm actually in a very unique position. I also have a stutter, so I apologize if I stutter throughout this, but basically I voted for Trump in 2024 based on what he did in his first term and based on the stuff that he campaigned on doing in his second term. I am actually not happy with a lot of the results of him getting elected president. I'm completely opposed to the war in Iran. I do not like what he's done with immigration and the stuff that he's done with that, but I would still vote for him as opposed to Harris. So I wouldn't say that I fully support him in everything he's currently doing, but I would still vote for him if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump.
Why?
So there's a few reasons why, but if I had to pick a specific issue, one issue I would give is abortion.
Okay. Well, I mean, Kamala Harris probably does think that abortion is wrong because she's a Baptist, just likely thinks that it should be legal. And I don't think that that is in confliction with a Christian worldview whatsoever. Let me ask you this question. Go on.
No, go ahead. It's okay.
If God saw a woman getting an abortion and didn't stop the woman from getting an abortion, would God be doing anything wrong?
So that's the thing. So God does not. God created the world. He created humans, and when He first created the world, everything He created was perfect. But we had free will.
Can I get a yes or no?
Huh?
Can I get a yes or no to the question?
So can I say my thing?
Yeah, that's fine. I feel like you're just going to give me a description about how we choose to do bad things in accordance with our own will.
I'm saying, God does not stop people from doing bad things. We all have free will. So we have free will in the world to do what we want, but that does not mean that God approves of what you're doing just because He's not going to stop you from doing it.
Okay, so the question that I asked you was, if God saw a woman getting an abortion and didn't stop that woman from getting an abortion, would God be doing anything wrong? And it seems like your answer to the question here is no. So if Kamala Harris saw a woman getting an abortion and didn't stop that woman from getting an abortion, would Kamala Harris be doing anything wrong?
So my stance on abortion is also not. I am not fully against it. My opinion is that abortion is murder. So I think we already have murder laws in this country, and I think that abortion should have to follow the same laws as murder. Which in murder in this country currently, there are only two ways that you can kill somebody and not be punished for it, and one of those is self-defense, and the other is if it's an act of war, or if you're in the military. Obviously, war does not apply here. So I do believe that if a woman is pregnant, I don't care if it's a teenager, adult, or if it's because of whatever.
I really appreciate you for describing your position, but I didn't ask you if you think abortion is murder and why. I asked you if Kamala Harris saw a woman getting an abortion and did not stop that woman from getting an abortion, would Kamala Harris be doing anything wrong?
I think that it's not. It's. No, I don't think. I don't. Well, I think it depends. It depends on the circumstance. So if the person getting the abortion, if they can get a definitive notion from a doctor or a medical professional saying that they have a very good chance of dying if they carry out giving birth to this child, I think choosing to get an abortion in that sense is self-defense. I think anything other than that would be murder. And I think yes, we should do everything that we can to stop people from committing murder.
So if Kamala Harris saw a woman getting an elective abortion, and then it stopped that woman from getting an elective abortion, Kamala Harris would be doing something wrong?
Not in the day and age that we live in right now, and not where she lives, because where she lives, unfortunately.
Okay, so then you're telling me that Kamala Harris wouldn't be doing anything wrong by running on pro-choice policy.
By legal standards.
So you're telling me that you support Donald Trump.
It's right.
So I'm not asking you by legal standards. I'm asking you by moral standards. I'm asking you morally, if Kamala Harris saw somebody getting an elective abortion and did not prevent them from getting an elective abortion, would she be doing anything morally wrong?
So obviously she as an individual, me and you, we don't have the authority to walk into Planned Parenthood or walk into any abortion clinic and stop any individual from getting an abortion. We do not have the authority to do that.
So the answer is stop them through implementing law to make it illegal with the authority
I'm not
of
trying
the politician.
So see that, and that's the difference. That's the difference where me and Trump differ, and that's the difference where. So I don't agree with Trump. Me and Trump do not have the same opinion on abortion. Me and Kamala Harris, I would have a stricter opinion on abortion than Trump. But when I vote for a candidate, I'm voting for the lesser of two evils. So in the case of Trump and Kamala Harris, and in the case of
I just don't think that you could track dialogue. I'm asking you such simple questions and you're just not engaging with them.
No, you're asking me very specific questions that you ask everybody that are designed to back people into a corner based on questions.
Precisely.
Yes, but you can you cannot compare God. You cannot compare God to Kamala Harris. So you cannot ask me, would God be doing something wrong?
Well, I mean, shouldn't we do what Jesus would do? WWJD.
Yes, but God.
So if we should do what Jesus would do, and Jesus wouldn't stop women from accessing abortion, then we shouldn't stop women from accessing abortion.
But again, you don't understand. Do you understand the concept of free will?
I understand that we should do what Jesus would do, and because of the concept of free will, Jesus wouldn't prevent a woman from accessing abortion, so neither should we. If
Jesus was the president of this country, or if he had any power at all to influence things, his goal would.
Jesus doesn't have power to influence things? Isn't he literally God?
I just told you, we are given free will. Jesus is not going to actively stop people from doing.
So are you saying that the free will of humans restricts God's power?
It does not restrict God's power.
Okay, so then don't say if God had more power, he would restrict people's will from accessing abortion.
You just said that Jesus would not stop women from accessing abortions. I'm saying that if Jesus was a human being on this earth...
Jesus is a human being. He's both fully human and fully God.
He was fully human and fully God when he was on the earth, and when he ascended to heaven. We all become eternal beings when we die. When we die, we are no longer human. Our souls go to heaven and we become eternal beings like God. So he is not a human currently. He was a human when he was on this earth, and he was both fully human and fully God.
So then why did the body go up with him?
No, he ascended to heaven,
remember they went into the tomb on the third day and the body was gone?
Yes, because he was alive, and there was record of him appearing to over 500 people.
And then after he appeared to over 500 people, where did the body go? Have we found it? No, because the body went to heaven with him.
Yes, okay. But why we are not on here to debate Jesus. We are on here to debate Trump.
Okay, sounds good. Do you think that all sins are identical in the eyes of God outside of blasphemy?
Outside of blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, yes. I mean, that's what the Bible says.
Should it be illegal to lie to your children about the existence of Santa Claus?
I don't think so. I think that there are ways that you can do that without lying. For instance, my parents never lied to me about Santa Claus. When I asked genuine questions, they answered them with genuine answers. So when I finally asked, "Is Santa Claus real?"
Can I ask you a question though? Do you think my mom should have gone to jail for telling me that Santa Claus existed?
No, I don't think she should have gone to jail.
So it should be.
But it's a sin that's equally as bad as all other sins outside of blasphemy, right?
Like abortion.
Yes, but you don't go to jail just because something's a sin doesn't mean you go to jail for it.
Well, what we're saying is that it shouldn't be illegal, right? Because if you think that the sin of lying is identical to the sin of abortion,
murder should be illegal. Can we at least agree on that?
Should murder be illegal? But see, your commitments that you hold insofar as why you think murder should be illegal would also entail that you think lying to your child about the existence of Santa Claus should be illegal, since you think all sins are inevitably equal.
They are, but while all sins are inevitably equal, all sins can also be equally forgiven. So whether you've simply lied to someone or whether you've murdered 25 people, if you honestly
then the question. Wait, hold up. Then the question is why is there punishment for one sin but not the other by human beings? If they're if they're both equally as bad, why is one going to lead to punishment but not the other one?
But we have to talk about, we are not living, in the United States right now, the United States is not under a theocracy. The United States is not governed by a religion. So you have to work with what you're
Isn't that what you want though?
No, I don't think. That's the whole reason this country was created. This country was founded by people who were leaving Europe because of religious oppression. But the reason that we have freedom of religion in this country, I don't think that there should be a state-sanctioned religion in this country now.
Wait, okay, so then why would you say that it's not good reasoning to say that, say for example, abortion should be illegal because you think it's wrong because you're Christian?
I didn't say abortion should be illegal. I said abortion should have to follow the same laws as murder already does.
Which means you think it should be illegal, right?
Unless it's self-defense, yes.
Yeah, so it should be illegal. So the point that we're making is that you're saying it should be illegal because you think it's wrong. You think it's wrong informed by your religious belief, right?
No, it's not just informed by religious belief. You guys are not religious.
Then what's the argument that's secular?
I shouldn't say that. Are you guys religious? Sorry.
I'm not.
No, we're agnostic. Also, I'd appreciate if some people.
So do you believe that there is a God?
One moment. Want to make fun of this guy's stutter? He can't control it. And also, it might help it out a little bit if you just tried to focus on speaking a little bit slower. I know that works.
Yeah, sorry. I've always had a very fast tone of speech. I've tried to work on that. Sorry.
I do too. I also have a stutter. I've been able to work on it a lot. And sometimes when it gets really bad, I just try to slow down my speech, and it helps.
Yeah, I've always had a bad combination. I've always talked very fast and very loud. I have also been told I don't have an inside voice.
But anyways, go ahead. I think once Parker's done fleshing out the point that he's attempting to make, I'll probably make a new one. So go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Parker.
Josh, you can make your point in response, and then I'll build off that.
Yeah, sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. What was it that you had said?
I think we were talking about how your religious view informs your view on whether or not you think abortion is murder, which then is the reason why you think it should be deemed as illegal.
Yeah, so my views on abortion are not. Now I can make an argument from both sides. For the majority of the beliefs that I have, I have justification for why I believe that both inside and outside of religion. Because as you guys both said, you guys are agnostic, so you guys are not religious in any way, and you guys agree that murder is wrong. So you guys just don't consider abortion murder then.
Yeah, but you're saying it's murder because you think you're Christian, or because
it's murder. It's murder because you are killing a child.
Right, okay, but wrong in consideration of your Christian worldview. Ultimately, your moral praxis reduces down to Christianity. And that's not something that could be ignored. The reasons why you think abortion is wrong absolutely does reduce
Christianity.
Okay, so do you think it was wrong when God commanded Saul and his men to kill the Amalekite children in 1 Samuel 15:3? No, because your entire moral worldview does reduce down to the Bible.
Yeah, but you also have to remember certain things. Now, not things like that, but there are many. The way that we live now is based on the new covenant that Jesus brought in the New Testament. So a lot of the ceremonial law and laws that they had in the Old Testament were a part of the Old covenant. We just I can eat pork.
It wasn't ceremonial law. It was moral law. It was a moral command. Okay, here's my point. So everything that you've described about your abortion view so far leads me to believe that you do not think it would be moral for a victim of rape to access abortion. And I think that's wrong. I want to ask you a question. I talk about this very frequently on this show, especially with a lot of people that are anti-abortion. Do you know who Max Irby is?
I do not.
He's a 15-year-old that needs a stem cell transplant or else he's going to die. And his stem cell type is very rare. His father set up a fundraiser for him. So far, they've collected over 40 million DNA samples. They haven't found a single match. What this means is that if there is a stem cell match for Max Irby, there's probably only one. So let's assume that our government found out you are the only stem cell match for Max Irby. Would it be okay for our government to force you to be connected to Max for 9 months against your will and without your consent to provide your stem cells for him? Because if you don't, he'll die as a result.
No.
That would not be moral. Okay. So you're the pregnant woman that was raped. Max Irby is the fetus. What changes? It wouldn't be moral for the government to force the pregnant woman that was raped to provide their bodily resources against their will and without their consent to Max for 9 months. Therefore, they should be able to evict that fetus from their uterus, terminate that pregnancy, and stop supplying their bodily resources from their umbilical cord to that fetus, even if the fetus dies as a result.
Yeah, so I would say my argument to that is I have no I think that rape is wrong. I think it's disgusting, and I think every time it happens is a tragedy in this country. However, I think that since I believe that rape is wrong, disgusting, and evil, I also believe that murder is wrong, disgusting, and evil. I don't think that we should be repaying evil with evil. So if one evil thing happens, we shouldn't be using something else that's evil.
You're reading off the note cards. I just gave you an argument to show you that you don't think the government should be able to legally force women who were raped and impregnated to maintain their pregnancy, because you said the government shouldn't be able to legally force you to provide your bodily resources against your will and without your consent to Max Irby.
Yeah, but that's no. But the difference is the person who's sick and the person who needs a transplant. Whether I choose to go through that transplant or not, it is not evil on my part to go through or not go through.
Therefore, it's not evil on the behalf of a rape victim to choose to not go through their pregnancy and evict the fetus from their womb, even if the fetus dies.
Let me ask you a question. Two things. First, can you
tell me the symmetry breaker between these two scenarios?
So let me ask you this: Can we agree that rape is evil?
Yes. Now, can you tell me the symmetry breaker between these two scenarios?
Let me hold on. Can we agree that murder is evil?
Yes.
Then why are we taking one evil and choosing to solve that problem by committing another evil?
Oh my God, because the argument is, under your view, it's not murder, okay? Because it's not unjust for the woman to stop supplying her bodily... Dude, just shut up for like 3 fucking seconds. So the definition of murder is the unjust termination of a human life. And what we're arguing here is that from your view, it's not unjust for the pregnant rape victim to stop supplying their bodily resources to the fetus, even if the fetus dies as a result. The same way, under your view, it wouldn't be unjust for you to refuse to provide your bodily resources to Max Irby, even if Max Irby dies as a result. Like we're saying, under your view, this is not murder in the circumstance of rape.
It's not the same, though.
Per your commitments to how you think you don't have to supply your stem cells to Max, even if not supplying your stem cells to Max would kill Max. Now, you're telling me that they're different. Buddy, I've asked you like 10 times to tell me the difference, and you haven't. So what is the difference?
The difference is that when it comes to the mother and the child, the fate of that child is solely in the hands of
just like the fate of Max Irby is solely in your hands. We already posited that you're the only stem cell match on the face of planet Earth.
If you want to make up a hypothetical situation and have that be, but I'm saying the likelihood of me being the only match on this entire planet.
Dude, you said if you were the only match, okay, you would still not have an obligation to save his life. And the government still shouldn't be able to force you to be connected to him for 9 months against your will to save his life. That's what you said. That was in the hypothetical. But you're still telling me that you don't think the government should be able to force you to provide your bodily resources to Max for 9 months against your will.
No.
Right. Even if you're the only match alive. So that's not a difference. Try again. What's the difference?
Yeah, we can discuss a different point. This point is obviously we're not going to get anywhere with this point.
We can if you could tell me the difference. Are you telling me that you think there's a difference, but you can't tell me what it is? I think the difference is when a rape victim is impregnated and forced to maintain their pregnancy by the state, that's something that will never personally impact you because you don't have a uterus. But in the scenario about Max Irby, it is being preassumed that it personally impacts you. That's the only difference I could think of.
Well, the other difference is like I said before. In the case of in the case of the other one, everything has cause and effect. So in the case of the pregnant mother, the cause is rape, and the choice to terminate the pregnancy is murder. Both of those things, which are
this isn't like what is this is not, dude. You don't know. Okay, I'm asking you for what the difference is.
It's not. It is not. Neither side is evil. That's me choosing not to give him me choosing not to go through with that transplant is not
okay.
evil on,
okay,
on
well, so then you're just saying that the difference is that in one scenario you think it's right, and the other scenario you don't think it's right.
No, it's simple.
That's not telling me. That's not telling me the relevant difference insofar as why in one scenario you think it's right, and why in the other scenario you don't think it's right. Like, you can't be this dense, Josh. Like, the purpose of me providing this analogy to you to demonstrate why your logic is misled is to show you that when we come up with a comparable example that logically mirrors all relevant attributes of a rape victim getting an abortion, okay, being fully committed towards providing their bodily resources to sustain another life, revoking consent from those bodily resources being provided, even if that other life dies. When we mirror all of those logically relevant things into the hypothetical of you being forcefully committed to provide Max Irby your bodily resources, you're saying that the difference is that in one scenario you think it's okay, and the other scenario you don't think it's okay. That's not describing why. I'm asking you, what are the differences between the two scenarios descriptively, not morally, that then lead you to thinking different morally in the two scenarios? Do you understand that question, Josh?
Yes, I understand. I already gave you my difference. If you don't want to accept that, then that's
you
fine.
Didn't give me a difference. You just special played to the categories.
I just said in one case.
No. Imagine if you were to ask me the difference between men and women, and then I said, well, the man's a man and the woman's a woman. Okay, and those are the differences.
That's true. Men have XY chromosomes.
No, that's not naming the differences between men and women.
That's the exact
That's just
difference.
saying that men are men and women are women. Oh my fucking gosh, you're an idiot. If I were to ask you what the difference between a square and a circle is, you're not going to say, well, the difference is that the square is a square and the circle is a circle. No, you're going to say, well, on one hand, one shape has 4 90-degree angles with 4 sides and 4 corners. Meanwhile, on the other hand, in the other shape, the circle, they do not have 4 90-degree angles with 4 sides and 4 corners, but it is rather one continuous slope of a line that then creates and generates a circle, right? Like, that would be a difference, okay? Right? But the difference wouldn't be that the square is the square and the circle is the circle. So when I'm asking you, what's the difference between the analogy of you being forced to provide your bodily resources to Max and a rape victim being forced to provide their bodily resources to a fetus? You're just saying, well, the difference is in one scenario, I think it's just, and in the scenario, I think it's unjust. Bro, we already fucking know that. The purpose of me giving you the analogy about Max Irby is to provide you a scenario where your logic applies, where you think it would be unjustified to force somebody to provide another life your bodily resources. Okay, we already fucking know that. We already know that in one scenario you think it's okay, and we already know that in the other scenario you don't think it's okay. I'm asking you, what is the difference of the two scenarios insofar as why in this scenario of a rape victim you don't think it's okay for them to stop supplying their bodily resources, and insofar as why in the scenario of you and Max Irby you do think it's okay for you to stop supplying your bodily resources? Hot damn! Oh my God! Driving me crazy, Josh. Please tell us.
Are you done?
Yes. What are the differences insofar as why in one scenario you think it's okay, and in the other scenario you don't think it's okay?
Are you actually going to let me speak this time?
Yes.
Because the last 3 times I've tried to speak, you have cut me off after three words. So the difference and the reason why I believe that one is just and one is unjust is because in one scenario, the two options that you have to solve the problem, one of them is evil and one of them is not. In the second in the second scenario, but it's neutral. Neither one of them is evil or not. That's the difference. And if you don't like that answer, then we can move on to a different topic. You're not going to get a different answer from me on that.
So just to clarify, you're saying that in the difference in this and the two scenarios is that when a rape victim accesses abortion, they're doing something evil. But if you were to refuse to provide your bodily resources to Max Irby, you wouldn't be doing something evil. Is that the difference that you're describing?
Yes.
Oh my God, Josh.
it's not evil to not be an organ donor.
Okay. So let's attack it from this. Wow. Let's attack it from this perspective. Why is it not evil for you to stop supplying your bodily resources to Max Irby, even if it kills Max Irby?
Because I'm not stopping supplying anything. I've never started supplying them. I have a choice whether to supply them or not. The woman is constantly, the baby has now depending on what stage.
So let's assume that the government kidnapped you while you were asleep, okay, gave you a sedative, and then you wake up and you're connected to Max Irby, providing him your stem cells.
Yeah,
so
that's
you have
a crime.
the option to leave.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, absolutely.
And would it be evil for you to leave, even if disconnecting from Max killed Max?
No, because I know where you're getting at with this, and you're gonna say the woman didn't.
Just answer my question. Just answer my question.
Yeah.
Should you have the option to leave, even if disconnecting from Max kills Max?
I know where you're going.
So
with this.
why would it not be a bad thing for you to leave, even if it kills Max?
Yeah, I'm not saying that I.
Why would it not be a bad thing for you to disconnect from Max, even if it kills Max? Why would that not be a bad thing?
Yeah, I really would like to get onto it. So I'm just gonna leave this topic. So I'm gonna say because
answer the question. Why would it not be a bad thing for you to disconnect from Max, even if it killed Max? Why would it? Is the answer maybe? Well, you were forced to connect to him in the first place against your will?
Yes, you and I both know that's the answer to that question.
Okay, so rape victims, were they forced into supplying their bodily resources to the fetus against their will?
They were forced into the act that ended up concluding in there being a fetus in them. Yes.
Okay, so they were forced into providing their bodily resources to a fetus against their will, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so why would it be a bad thing for them to leave?
So I'm just gonna say. So I'm gonna leave this topic by saying this.
Why would it be a bad thing for that rape victim to leave the fetus? Disconnect from it.
I've answered that question in many different ways.
What's the answer? In like 2 sentences or less, what's the answer? You can't say it's because a fetus dies, because Max dies, but you don't think it's a bad thing to disconnect from him. So what's the answer?
Okay, let me ask you this. If somebody...
No, I don't want a question. I want an answer. Why would it be a bad thing for a rape victim to disconnect from a fetus, even if it kills a fetus? Why would that be a bad thing?
If somebody
is brain dead... No, I don't want a question. I want a response. Why would it be a bad thing for a rape victim to disconnect from a fetus, even if it kills a fetus? Why can't you answer this question? The reason why you can't answer this question, Josh, is because you know you're a hypocrite. You know when I make this scenario about you being forcefully connected to Max Irby against your will to save his life, you said explicitly that it would not be a bad thing for you to get up and leave and disconnect from Max, even if Max dies. And the reason why I'm now asking you, well, therefore, why would it be a bad thing for a rape victim to get up and disconnect from a fetus, even if the fetus dies, is because the only possible answer you can have is, well, it's bad because it kills the fetus. It's murder. Well, you disconnecting from Max killed Max, therefore it's murder too. Therefore, you have to walk back you saying you wouldn't be doing something wrong. But you can't do that because you know it wouldn't be wrong for you to disconnect from Max. So either concede that I've gotten you, and you have to realize that the scenario of a rape victim accessing abortion is synonymous in all relevant senses to you disconnecting from Max Irby after the government forcefully connected you to him for 9 months to save his life, or tell me why it would be a bad thing for a rape victim to disconnect from the fetus, all right, without contradicting yourself.
Yeah, I'm done discussing this topic. I've answered.
No, you're not. Your question, what's the answer? What's the answer?
It's the answer I've already said.
Which is?
You're not going to accept it.
And which is the answer? And which is the answer?
I've already said it.
And say it again.
I'll say it again, but it's the last time I'm saying it. But you're going to say it's not an answer.
So say it again. Why would it be a bad thing for the victim of rape to disconnect from that fetus, even if the fetus dies?
Because in one case...
No, wait, I'm not asking you about a comparative analysis of the two cases. Listen to my question. Why would it be a bad thing for a rape victim to disconnect from a fetus, even if the fetus dies? This is not asking you for comparative analysis of an analogy. This isn't asking you why would it be bad in one scenario but not the other. The question is very simple. The question is, why would it be a bad thing for the rape victim to disconnect from the fetus, even if the fetus dies?
Because in one case,
I'm not asking you about a comparative analysis of two cases.
That's the
answer.
answer.
I'm not asking you about I'm not asking you about a comparative analysis of two cases. I'm not saying why would it be bad in case number 1 but good in case number 2. You're saying in one case. No, there's not multiple cases. Listen.
Fine, then the
why
answer is because one
would
is
it
murder and
be
one's not.
a bad thing for a rape victim to disconnect from a fetus even if that causes the fetus to die?
What do you mean? What do you mean by disconnect?
Stop supplying the fetus their bodily resources through their umbilical
Let me ask you this:
cord.
have you ever watched an abortion?
I've watched abortions, the videos on the internet.
So you
what I
understand what
mean by
happened.
disconnect is
You
for a
like to
rape
use words
victim
like disconnect
to
as if it's some itty bitty thing.
to take an abortion pill which cuts off the supply of the progesterone through the umbilical cord, which then leads to the fetus's death because they no longer have the bodily resources of the woman to live. So tell me, why would it be a bad thing for the rape victim to disconnect from the fetus, stop supplying their resources through the umbilical cord, leading to the fetus's death? Why would that be a bad thing?
I'm not saying it would always be a bad thing. I'm saying it would only be a bad thing if they were able to live and carry out the pregnancy and be just fine. If they were gonna
this rape victim is gonna live just like you would live if you were connected to Max Irby for 9
so
months.
I just said, yeah.
So why would it be a bad thing for the rape victim who would live otherwise to disconnect from the fetus even if the fetus dies? Why would that be a bad thing?
Because you're choosing to commit murder to something that would.
And why is it
otherwise be
murder?
fine. Huh?
Why is it murder?
Because you're intentionally killing a living being.
Okay, so it's a bad thing for a rape victim to disconnect from the fetus growing in their uterus because that kills a fetus. Well, earlier you told me that it would not be a bad thing for you to disconnect from Max Irby after the government forcefully connected you to Max Irby, even if Max Irby dies.
The difference between
so
that
I just want to
is Max
clarify.
was not-
Do we
Max
agree
was not
that in
fine
that scenario
before
that Max Irby would die if you were to disconnect from
Yeah,
him,
Max is
just
gonna
like
die
the
with
fetus?
or without
So
me,
if
that's
you
the
were to
point.
disconnect Max, no, he wouldn't die with you. You would save his life.
He was already sick. If he didn't get a transplant, he was gonna die. So he was gonna die without the transplant, and he was gonna die if I chose not to give the transplant. That baby.
But if you chose to provide him, your bodily resources, just like if the rape victim chose to provide the fetus their bodily resources, the fetus would live and Max would live. So in other words, because you're telling us that a victim of rape is culpable for murder by denying access to their bodily resources on behalf of the fetus who are taking them from them without their permission and consent, you would be culpable for murder by revoking your consent from being connected to Max Irby for 9 months to save his life. Because if you disconnect from Max Irby, then he dies.
Yeah, I'm not gonna continue to discuss because
because you're a fucking idiot. You're a legit moron.
not.
You don't think with your brain. You think with I don't know. I don't know what you think. Maybe you don't think at all. Oh, my name is Josh and I'm a fucking idiot. I think that it's murder for a rape victim, a goddamn rape victim, to do the same thing that if I were to do it, it would be completely acceptable. It enrages me. It fucking enrages me. Like the goal of the male ego to say that if you were to do the same thing a rape victim, the fucking 9-year-old girl that was raped, if you were to do the same thing that a 9-year-old girl who was raped did, then you would be perfectly justified in doing so, but if she were to do it, then she'd be a murderer. It is such a double standard. It is so fucking misogynistic, and it's so evil. I mean, fuck, we're talking about rape victims here. Imagine if you were that 12-year-old little girl who got raped and impregnated, and you had to listen to men on the internet say that they're a fucking murderer, but then in that same breath hear that man say that if they were to do the same thing I did as a 12-year-old little girl, that they'd be perfectly justified in doing so. I'm going to pass the mic to Parker. I'm obviously too upset.
Josh, is there anything Trump could do that would get you to stop supporting him?
Again, I already told you, based on just pure support for the person, I do not support Trump as the current president and what he's doing, but I do support him over the other candidates. So yes, I am going to pick the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, so is there anything Trump could do that would set off that equation?
Is there anything Trump could do that would make me vote for Kamala Harris over him?
That would get you to vote for Kamala Harris over Trump. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
If
not vote
Trump,
at all.
If so, based on my personal beliefs, my moral beliefs, and my political beliefs, if Trump's policies and the things that he was advocating for went more against my moral standard than Kamala Harris did, then yes, I'd vote for Kamala. I'm going to vote for whoever is going to be the closest to what I believe.
Okay, so let me just clarify real quick. Whatever is the closest to what you believe. Do you believe that someone who commits an unforgivable sin and would hit a red line of God would hit your red line as well for a candidate that you would support?
Yeah, you did this. It was either earlier today or yesterday. You were talking to somebody and you said that Trump has blasphemed the Holy Spirit. When has Trump blasphemed the Holy Spirit?
When he represented himself as the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree that was right, and I do believe I have a feel. I think I know what his intentions were in posting that, but because we can't definitively prove what his intentions were in posting that, then we cannot definitively say he was blaspheming the Holy Spirit, and that is a very serious
So you're saying
thing
his
to say
intention wasn't to represent himself as God?
I think that by him posting it, I think that he was trying to make the analogy that just like Jesus is the savior of the world, he's the savior of America, and I think that he did, and it was a very poor and tasteless way of doing that.
Okay, well, I just want to let you know.
I don't necessarily think he was blaspheming the Holy Spirit, though. No, and I think and that's a very only God can judge the content.
Did you know that he said that he was a doctor?
He said that's what he said. His excuse when they asked him about it was that yes.
Yes. Do you think that's a reasonable explanation?
I do not think that's a reasonable explanation. No, I just told you I don't agree with him doing it, but also none of us can definitively say, especially something like blaspheming of the Holy Spirit.
If it's unreasonable in the explanation, that means it's a lie, right?
Yeah, but just because he's lying about the reason of why he posted it doesn't mean.
Why is he lying about the reason why he posted it?
Because he knows that a large portion of his MAGA cult following base claims to be Christians, so he knows that if he answers truthfully in what he actually did, then he's going to get a negative reaction.
Did you say cult following base?
Yeah, I think I would not say I'm MAGA. The MAGA that Trump has.
Wait. I mean, you are MAGA. So would you say that you're a part of that cult? What distincts you from the rest of the cult?
I agree with the statement "Make America Great Again," but I believe that Trump is no longer pushing for that cause.
Wait, Trump said that America is already great. We're in a golden age already.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think that's bullshit.
You think that's bullshit? Okay. Yeah. So, why do you want to continue to support him if he thinks that all of his work is done?
I just told you I don't necessarily support him, and I don't support 2/3 to the stuff he's done.
Why do you prefer him as the candidate?
I prefer him over Kamala Harris because if I take base values and what he's advocating for and what Harris is advocating for,
like you think Trump is going to save the most amount of lives possible? Is that your view?
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. So if you take and we can take abortion. If you take Trump and Harris's stances on abortion,
can I ask you a question? If I could prove to you that Harris's position more people would live as opposed to Trump's position, would you then concede that you support Harris?
On what issue?
Does it matter? If you could save more people, if you could save more human lives from dying, if you could save more human lives from dying, would you? If I could prove that to you right now, would you say that you would support Harris over Trump?
Well, you could save more human lives from dying by banning abortion. So if you're worried about saving human lives,
I'm not hearing an answer to the question. Like, if I could prove to you that you would save more lives.
Go ahead. Go on. You're gonna make your point anyway. Just make it.
Let me just clarify the statement. If I could prove to you that you would save more human lives from dying, right? If Harris were elected over Trump, would you then support Harris over Trump?
I'm gonna have to hear your argument first. So make your argument.
Why?
Because I know you. I watch you guys all the time. I've watched you guys debate hundreds of people. And
why can't you just answer the question?
Yeah, go ahead and give your argument. If you should still be happy with an answer after you give your argument. So give your argument of why more lives
I
would be
think
saved
my
under Harris than
argument
Trump.
includes this.
This guy has
Okay.
no principles. Zero. This guy has zero principles. He supports
It's whatever
Trump because
Trump
Trump is
said.
going to save more lives.
That's not true.
But he can't
I
tell us that
disagree
if
with the majority of what
theoretically
Trump says.
that if Kamala Harris
As of
were to
right
save
now.
more lives, that you would stop supporting Trump.
Okay, so make the argument.
No, I mean,
Answer the question.
I just want to know whether or not this would be something that would change your mind. Like,
I'm not going to
you
answer
can
that until you make the
one.
argument.
Why aren't you going to answer that? Is it because you're scared?
Make the argument. I'm not
crazy.
scared. Make the argument.
So then why won't you answer the question? This is
Because I want him to make the argument.
This is a part of the argument. This is a part
This
of the
entire time,
argument.
you've been answering questions with
part
hypotheticals.
of the argument. It
Josh,
is.
this is part of the argument. It's one of the
Okay,
premises
for
in
the
the
sake-
argument.
for the sake-
and also,
for the
Josh,
sake of
like
the argument.
I've been very nice to you. I've been very nice to you. I literally like
I agree.
waited
You have
for
been,
everyone
you have
to
been very
finish.
nice, and you are
I'd love
often
for you
more
just to
more nice
engage at
than
this
Nina.
point.
I will agree with that.
No, I've been nicer to you than Parker.
No, I've watched you guys both debate. Parker does not regularly scream at people.
I've been nicer to you than he has.
Depends on the day.
That's not true. That is
Yeah, it
not
is.
true. No, it's
super
not.
true. Nope, it is.
Go ahead, Parker. For the sake of your argument, yes. Hypothetically, yes. Now make your argument.
No,
Wait, no. I want to know what your
for the sake
position
of-
is.
We're not asking you like for the sake of the argument. We're asking you like what is your true position? Like truly, would you stop supporting Trump if hypothetically Kamala Harris would have saved more lives than Trump?
That's not the only issue because if you're going, okay, fine. Then let me give you an example. If I said yes,
All that we
and
want
then-
is a yes or a no, Josh.
Yeah, you
So
want
is this a
you want
yes?
yes or no's to all,
Or is
all
this
of your
a no?
questions. But when I ask you questions, you answer everything with a hypothetical.
Ultimately, it is either true that you would stop supporting Trump, or it is false that you would stop supporting Trump.
I'm not going to.
So ultimately, is it true or is it false?
Okay, then how do you define support of Trump's? Because if I support somebody
Well,
else, in the
we've
entire-
already went over that. Like you would say that you wouldn't vote for him over Harris. You'd vote for Harris over Trump if hypothetically Harris would save more lives than Trump.
Whatever. Yeah, go ahead. Go.
So the answer is yes. You would. You
Make
would
your
say
argument.
that you'd
Yes.
vote for
Make
Kamala
your
Harris.
argument.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, I'll just make the argument. I don't know why you're like not being genuine.
I don't know why you
engaging
won't.
with
If you're
the
so
point.
confident, then you should just say the argument.
Once
Yeah,
again,
I'm-
this is the first premise of the argument, Josh. He is.
Okay, so I'm saying for the sake of the argument, yes. Now
We don't want to know for the sake of the argument. We want to know like what your true position is.
My position is that no matter who, I didn't even support Trump in the primaries
Okay,
for the
listen.
previous elections. But
Okay,
if it
what is
comes
your-
down to him versus
Is it
somebody else,
true that you would vote for Trump over Harris if Harris would save more lives than Trump, including the lives of the unborn?
well, that definitely won't happen. So that's just a
Okay,
bogus
but
argument.
that's not a yes or a no. So is it true that you would still vote for Trump over Harris, or is it false that you would still vote
Again,
for Trump over Harris?
So okay, so if you would let me
Is
say
it
what I'm
true
saying,
that you would vote for Trump
it
over Harris?
depends on the argument. I just said that.
So what it depends on is something that we've already clarified. If Harris would save more lives than Trump, including the lives of the unborn.
I said it depends on the context of
that
that.
is the context.
No, it's not, because so if his argument was war, if he said Harris is going to get us into less wars and less people are going to die in total because there wouldn't be a war, I would rather even knowing all the stuff that's going on in Iran, knowing this war was going to happen, all this stuff, I would still currently vote for Harris over Trump. I mean Trump over Harris, and I would have the war. So yes, people are going to die during a war, and so the casualty count might be higher with Trump. But I would still have Trump over Harris, even if we
How
have
about
the war.
this? How about this? Is it true or false that you would still vote for Trump if Kamala Harris would save more innocent lives than Trump?
There we go.
As long as you are defining abortion as killing innocent lives.
Yes, this would include the unborn.
Yeah, wait, we could include that within the argument.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, okay,
Sure.
okay. Let's include that within the argument. Okay. If I can prove to you that Harris would save more innocent lives than Trump, would you support Harris over Trump?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So there's a Lancet study that indicates that U.S. aid, right, the cuts to U.S. aid that Doge made under the Trump administration will lead to 14 million people dying that would have otherwise not have died.
Yeah, I knew you were
with
going to
the
go somewhere
USAID
like this with
funding
this.
being in place, right? The USAID funding being in place, right? So Donald Trump cutting the funding of that will lead to significantly more people dying than anything that you could associate specifically with the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Plus, the overturning of Roe versus Wade hasn't even led to a decrease in the level of abortions that have occurred. We've actually seen an increase in the level of abortions that have happened since the overturning of Roe versus Wade. So I think better ways to actually mitigate the amount of abortions that happen is by expanding access to contraceptives, comprehensive sex education, right, and universal health care and universal child care. And I think that regardless of what your position is, that should be an agreeable fact.
See, I knew this is why I asked you to make the argument first, because yes, I agree with all the cuts to the funding and all the cuts today. I do not think that there should be universal health care. I do not think there should be universal child care. So I do not agree with those things. So no, you can claim that it's going to save or kill this many lives.
Wait, can I just clarify? That's a separate point to the USAID funding specifically. That was what is going to save 14 million people's lives by 2030, and those people will die because Donald Trump and his administration cut that. So you support 14
And that is a
million
hypothetical.
people.
That is not a fact.
So you support administration that leads to more loss of innocent life.
No, I support an administration that cuts funding that we don't need.
Okay, so then we don't need to save innocent life.
If that's your position, that's your position, that's fine. You're entitled to have that position.
No, that's your position.
Wait, Josh, that's your position. It's an internal criticism of your position.
No, we already know that this funding.
No.
Yes, it is, because we know that this funding will save the lives of 14 million innocent people. And if you're arguing that we don't need this funding,
that is a hypothetical based on study. No, it's not a fact.
No. That's not hypothetical. That is a projection based upon good reason.
Yes, but it's a guess. It's an educated guess.
Right. An educated guesses matter.
Yes, an educated guess is not a fact. It's a hypothesis.
So no,
have you taken any science class ever?
That we could give good reason to find to be the case.
Yeah, it's also statistical that 16-year-old drivers are going to get into more accidents.
Okay, then check this out. You shouldn't support Trump because after overturning Roe v. Wade, the numbers of abortions went up in America.
Yeah, because people still do them illegally.
We're talking specifically about
even if abortion was banned, they would still happen illegally.
We're talking specifically about legal abortions.
Wait, Josh, isn't that a criticism of your perspective that abortions would still happen? They would just happen in unsafe ways that would lead to greater likelihood of infant and maternal mortality.
That's the case with everything, though. If you ban guns,
we're just saying here that you shouldn't support overturning Roe v. Wade because it's caused more abortions.
And if you would, can I say something without being interrupted?
I just want to make it clear. Right, that you shouldn't support things that cause abortion if you think that abortion is murder.
Can I say something? Can I have at least 60 seconds without being interrupted?
I don't know. Fucking can you, Josh?
Can I? It's up to you because you keep muting me or talking over me.
Make your point, bruh.
Okay. So if I'm going, because you guys like to pinpoint in on these things, but I don't think I have the same opinion on abortion. So Trump, I'm not saying I don't agree with Trump or Harris. I think Trump's policies on abortion are not correct. I think Harris's policies on abortion are not correct. However, here's the difference between Harris's policy and Trump's policy. Trump wants to leave abortion up to the states. He does not want there to be any federal legislation, period, on abortion. However, Harris would support federal legislation allowing it. However, the federal government does not have the power to make legislation about abortion.
Would you support things that would lead to more abortion?
I do not support abortion, no.
That's not the question that I asked you.
Would you support policy that would lead to more abortions happening?
Yeah, would you?
Yeah, I'm not doing this with you guys. I'm not doing the runaround. We can pick a different topic.
Okay, then leave. You fucking scaredy cat. Hit the road.
I'm not. I've discussed this topic with you.
You know what it is? I'm just going to take this as a compliment, Dean. We are asking such good questions that people just can't engage with them.
No, you guys...
Right. Yeah, and on top of that, the reason why I pivoted to this, Parker, is because if he's like denying the projections based upon USAID funding, like killing 14 million people in the next 10 years or whatever, well, then he can't argue that like abortion numbers are going to go up for now, then go down again in the future, because that would be one of those educated guesses. So he'd be locked in by his own standards into arguing that the only thing he knows is that overturning Roe v. Wade led to an increase in abortion. Yeah, I really lost my shit on him earlier. I'm happy I reeled it in a little bit. I don't like to do that. But I think that he is by far one of like the worst people I've talked to in a long time. Like just like truly like no ability to comprehend like logic in the slightest. Like I
can remember one time recently that was a little bit more insufferable.
What are you thinking about?
A lot of bit more insufferable. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, wait, we can talk about it publicly.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
We could talk about it publicly because the Jubilee dropped the trailer for it.
Well, you can say whatever. I'm not sure what we can say about it, so I'd have to check.
Me and Parker debated these two idiots on a Jubilee roundtable. It's going live the day after tomorrow. Matt Nuclear, and then what's the name of that other guy?
Dennis. He ran for Congress in California and got like 5% after claiming that he was going to win while we were there in studio.
Yeah. And it's like the first time that me and Parker have ever done like a 2v2 on Jubilee. I think it was super insufferable. I don't think it was like, I don't think it's really even that watchable. It was probably less watchable than that last debate that we had with that guy.
Yeah, I actually like, I don't know. I'm just going to say rage bait extreme.
Yeah. Like, I don't really intend to watch it. Like, it's so bad that like, I don't intend to watch it personally. No, but yeah, we could talk about it because they dropped the trailer for it finally. It's pretty crazy. Over on Venmo, thank you, Ashley, for the $25, who says this kid is insufferable. He's not pro-life, he's pro-birth. I'm pro-life, but I believe in bringing the whole support and don't vote for a ban because I'd rather the abortion be safe than black market. Then you're not pro-life. Thank you so much for the $25. Let's get 250 Ashley W's down below in that chat. Anna Gale, thank you for the $10, who says, thank you for being passionate about women's rights. It's so refreshing to see a man be angry about this topic. We need more men like you. Oh my God. It pisses me off. Anna Gale. Joseph, thank you for the $24 for being mean and yelling more than Parker. Let's go. Let's get 250 Joseph W's in that chat for losing my shit on him. Peter, thank you for the $25, who says, this coward just said, quote unquote, you'd save more lives if you banned abortions, end quote, almost certainly not knowing that abortions have increased since Roe v. Wade was overturned. Peter sent that in 9 minutes ago before Parker started to make the argument. You're a prophet, Peter. Lauren, thank you for the $20. She says, why is MAGA so against people coming into our country and using, quote unquote, their resources to survive, but are okay with forcing women to allow fetuses into our bodies and okay with our resources and body to survive? Shouldn't they all care about all lives? I guess so. That's actually a fairly good point. Lauren, I think that there's a way that that idea could be cleaned up and really made into a strong one. That could really be made into a strong argument. I'll have to think about that one. Noel, thank you so much for the $20, who says, do something today to take care of your energy. You deserve it. I appreciate you for the $20, Noel. My plan is just to watch TV for the rest of the night, low-key. Jada, thank you for the $5. Lily with a 4. Happy early 21st birthday. Morgan, thank you for the $5. Haven, thank you for the 5. Edward, thank you for the $25, who says, I support the younger gen getting into politics and supporting facts over feelings. I'll have to do that in the future, Edward. Thank you for the $25. I love that. Terry, thank you for the 25, who says, tough evening today, Dean. I see it in your eyes. Thank you for hanging in there with us. And Terry sent that donation in over an hour ago. Yeah, I am tired. Over on PayPal, thank you so much for the $20. Revel, who says, what if the pregnant woman stopped eating as soon as she got pregnant so the baby never got nourishment and the baby dies? If she never supplied the baby with food, it's not evil, right? That's actually a pretty decent position, Rebel. That's actually a pretty good counter argument to that really stupid point that guy was trying to make. Thank you for the $20. Spice of Life, thank you for the $25, who says, Dean, sensitivity to the truth is a gift that you and Parker possess, stronger than most. It's a very lonely place. It feels like we're among zombies, but don't give up because I believe your work will save America. Spice of Life, I know that you've been watching for a long time, and thank you so much for the love and support. I hope that you enjoyed the stream today. It was pretty crazy, though. SJ, thank you so much for the $10, who says, thank you so much for not being afraid to speak on harm to our community, even when it comes from within it. SJ's referencing a black guy that joined earlier and was saying that like black people are like violent and dumb, and that's why white people are racist. And then he was like, I can't talk about it because I'm white. Remember that? That was crazy, SJ. Marianne, thank you for the $11. She says, have you ever listened to Dan McKellen? Oh yeah, he's so intelligent. I love Dan. And then Madeline, thank you for the $7. Over on Super Chat, thank you so very much for the $5. Kira and Rex, thank you, you guys. Falls, thank you for the $20, who says, go get some rest and take care of yourself. You're genuinely a good person and don't deserve to get worked up over chuds like that. Like I said, you got this. Fuck the money, fuck the pressure. You're okay. Appreciate you for the $20, Falls. I did get pretty worked up over that guy. Kung Fu, thank you for the $20, who says, the other day upon the stars, I met a man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. I wish he'd go away. I assume that's lyrics from something that was relevant when you sent the dono in. I apologize for not being familiar with it. Megan with the $10 says, well done, Dean. Thank you. Feisty with the 10 says, would caller volunteer to save an unwanted fetus? Probably not. Mary with the $20 says, oh my God, that last guy was insufferable. He was fucking terrible. SMP with the $20 says, it's pro-life for the baby, but pro-choice for him. Yup. Megan with the $10 says, get it, Dean. Thank you so much, Megan. And Amanda, thank you so much for the 20, who says, I'm struggling with COVID right now. Feel better soon, Dean. Well, you too, Amanda. Seriously, you too. We are all caught up. I appreciate you guys so much for all the love and support. Parker, how are you feeling?
I'm doing all right. I'm feeling pretty rested. I chilled all day with my girlfriend, and we like played games and watched TV, slept in. So that was actually really nice.
I'm surprised that you're not on live yet. I'd assume that you want to start now. I mean, do you want to start?
Yeah. I was gonna hop on like right once you're done.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, I'll actually just send you a raid right now, my friend.
Alrighty, for sure, bro. I'll hop on live right now. Have a good night, man. Make sure to sleep and get some good sleep, bro.
Hey, man, appreciate it. You have a good live stream.
All right. See ya, bro.
See ya. Brianna, thank you for the $2 over on Venmo. Says that misogynist would make me lose my cool too. Dude, so true. And Linda with the $25, who says, why does MAGA think all sins are equal? Doesn't say that in the Bible. A lot of Christians hold on to that interpretation. Many don't, though. It's probably one of the more contested theological points interdenominationally. Hey, for everybody who's still here hanging out with us, make sure to hit that follow button on your way out. Drop us up on YouTube.